What's going on, guys? Creator here, back for a new episode of This Week in Wrestling, where we discuss everything in the wacky world of professional wrestling and everything else related to it. Right here, actually, today we're with my old friend Numbskull Gaming, which I haven't seen in almost like 2 years. So what's up, Numbskull?
What's going on, Creator Man? How you doing, bud?
All right, wait 1 second. Let me just mute the stream. Okay, I can hear myself in the background. And then I'm also with my good friend Ron. What's up, Ron? Or you? What would you like to go by? I forgot what you said.
The Mad Stalin. It's my gamer name.
The Mad Stalin. Gotcha.
I'm not famous.
Now, yes. Now, usually, what I would do go through the whole week in wrestling order, but this is the exception because yesterday something very interesting happened. Yes,
it was a very special episode of Up, Up, Down, Down.
There's a reason why Xavier Woods' tagline at the end of the video is "Keep it tight."
Keep it tight.
Yeah.
Tight. How tight?
So for those, for those who don't know, basically what happened was, I was asleep during the whole situation. I had to catch up. So apparently, Paige's nudes and Paige's nudes basically got leaked. That was the first thing.
So let's make it really clear, really quick. She was part of a bigger leak. It just hers just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Again, it's nothing new. Yeah. I mean, when people do this stuff on their smartphones, they're unaware that it's also going up to the cloud or on Google Drive as a backup. Mm-hmm. What happens is, and this guy who apparently is still anonymous, he hacks into iCloud accounts and Google Drives from phishing. So he basically tricks them into giving them their password and gets them all that way. Somehow.
Oh, I had no idea.
But it was a big leak that included like Emma Watson and a whole bunch of other, big old celebrities. Just like, what was that? Or like a year or two ago, the Fappening.
Yeah, the Fappening. The name still gets
the Fappening. It happened. But yeah, Paige unfortunately was part of that leak.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about the NY situation.
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
Again, the internet is a bunch of CSI investigative people when it comes to celebrity nudes. So there's no face on Emma Watson's, but there's like, oh, look at this necklace. She was wearing it here. And then look at this mole. She has this mole here. And it's like, look at this bracelet.
Trust me, people are going to find ways to make sure
it's
that
like
it's
CSI.
this person. Unlike these things with Paige, it's her. It's definitely her.
Yeah, it's clearly her. Yeah,
I know that pale skin from anywhere. It's
not only that. Yeah, just a video. Just clearly is her face, her voice. For those who didn't see it, I would recommend watching the video, but.
Every single picture and video is her face, except for the one which is covered in white.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That one you can't necessarily tell if it's her. We're not quite sure, but it's
not hard to find. If you guys want to go look, you can.
It's not. Yeah, just one Twitter search. You just type in Paige. Is literally just go on Twitter real quick.
And of course, she's already spoken out. She's upset, as you should be. I mean. In this new digital age, people feel the need to record themselves. But it's unfortunate for her, but, you bring it upon yourself.
It's actually pretty funny, as you say that she already said something, because on the other hand, Xavier Woods has been acting like nothing's been going on. He's actually at South by Southwest, just having the time of his life. And it's like, oh, okay. Oh, wait, hold on, my phone's going on. Why am I blasting on Twitter? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's safe for him right now to not say anything at all until WE tells him what to say because we'll get into that in 1 second. Well, basically, I just want to summarize. Not only did Paige's news get leaked, but also in the video, one of the videos also got leaked. It revealed that she was doing things with Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods.
Yeah. So Brad Maddox was recording. Now, I'm still gonna say it's not Xavier. I can't see a face. If I can't see your face, I'm not gonna say it's you.
But
I will come and say
right now. I'm legit looking for reporter evidence and reasons. I'm looking at it right now, and it's him. it's him.
It's hard to tell because it's a video of a video. Like the guy's recording a screen of this.
Yeah, which is weird. So I'm more curious of who actually recorded that video. It was probably Vince.
Well, actually, the way it was that the person had it on. So it's kind of like one of these things of the person had it on the screen and he was recording it to his phone because some people don't know how to save things on the computer or whatever. So he actually recorded from his phone, but it actually does ask the question. How many cameras was in the room? Because if Brad Maddox is holding the camera, but he's in the angle from that angle, then where was the camera from this angle?
I know.
Like.
Yeah, so
I don't
probably a tripod, but I think we're digging a little too deep on.
Yeah, but we go CSI.
But for all intents and purposes, it does look like Xavier.
Yeah,
it's his hair. If you notice him when he's performing, he does have that weird kind of curly chest hair. You can see that in the video.
Yeah,
it does look like him, and we all know that Xavier and Paige are very good friends.
And there's only like 5 black guys in the WWE, so who else is it really going to be?
I'm pretty sure you could tell all of New Day apart. Big E's huge.
Yeah.
Kofi's got dreads. It's definitely not.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know how huge Big E is.
Definitely not Mark Henry. I mean,
I don't know how huge Big E is. I mean,
when I first saw the headlines,
I don't know. And Apollo Crews wasn't even there yet. So Apollo Crews nor was Strawn was even.
Yeah. When I first saw the headlines, it was like New Day member in Paige's newest leak video. It's like it's got to be Big E, and I was like, oh wait, that's
no.
We know Big E's got it.
You would think that it was Big E. You would think
that's immediately what I thought.
Big E is that kind of guy that will you seen his if you seen his Instagram, that man's a freak. Him, especially him and Kate.
Oh
yeah. We're not gonna get into that.
But other than that, Other than that, though, is the fact.
All I'm saying.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, the only thing I was going to say was that the only reason why I'm saying it's Xavier, because I decided just to look it up. What my brother also told me. There's a Reddit post almost like a year ago with Brad Maddox, and he even said he was the only person he was best friends with back in NXT was Xavier Woods. So now we know why.
I mean, but
I look at it like that. It's like.
I have a question. How big of best friends can you have to be? From hey, we go and eat dinner together, we go watch movies, and we go tag team a wrestler together in more ways than one.
A 2-on-1 handicap match.
Yeah, and Twitter was just ridiculous yesterday. My whole Twitter. Dude, if you go on my Twitter, all it is just retweets. It's just retweets.
Dude, last night I was dying reading your retweets.
Yeah, it's just because it just literally this came out of nowhere. I mean, to be honest with you, Paige, I knew something with Paige was going to happen eventually, but Xavier Woods was not expecting that. Because is he married right now?
Put
the final nail in Paige's coffin. After this, she's not coming back.
That's what I'm getting.
Here's the thing, though, and I've said this to some people, some friends of mine. Like, because everyone was like, well, who is this going to affect? And it's like, all right, so my thing is
done.
So well, here's the thing.
I feel like Paige is done.
Paige has not want to come back for the longest time. Ever since her and
Del Rio.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, Del Rio / El Patron /
whoever he wants to be right now. Alberto Del Taco Bell, for all I care. For whoever he wants to be with, the fact that when they left, she did not want to come back. The only reason why they've been keeping her as of late is because one, she was under contract, but they just wasn't using her. Then another thing that was keeping her for was she did, and that actually makes me sad. She did that what was that? That Surf's Up 2 movie. She was a voice of one of the Penguins.
Oh yeah, and they completely Surf's Up 2 because.
So she had a couple
and
of those.
And they completely ignored her in the advertisements. Yeah, and they completely ignored her in the advertisements. Every time I see commercials, they always said Triple H, Undertaker, Vince McMahon, and John Cena. They never mentioned Paige.
Yeah, they never mentioned Paige, but Paige is in there.
It's like they refused to advertise. I know they refused to advertise her.
And then another reason why is because The Rock is actually somewhat keeping on. I mean, because she has that biopic that's coming out.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Well, yeah, we're just going to mention that.
Yeah,
that's going to be the unrated version.
I think what we're doing here is what's going to end up happening is that WWE is probably going to drop their endorsement on that movie because this is huge and it's unfortunate. Yeah. It's nothing special. Everybody in the world has sex, but she just happens to be a celeb.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, if I learn like this, I don't think anybody's going to get too much in trouble because the thing is this: it is their personal lives. That's number one. Number two, look at Seth Rollins and remember what happened with him.
But let's also remember how they're still 86ing China out of the Hall of Fame because of her decisions after WWE.
Yeah.
Well,
everybody thought she was going to get Hall of Fame this year, but they gave it to Beth.
Yeah.
The second they said Beth Phoenix, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are they? Is Triple H that
they just don't want this publicity? That's why.
I mean, that's true too. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not really thinking of Paige. Paige doesn't want to be back anyway. She can give two shits about.
I know it's obvious she doesn't care.
Brad Bass been fired, so this is just like, oh, okay, I forgot I did that.
I just knew it was
Brad Bass. Yeah.
She was done with WWE for a while because what had happened is the wifey watches Total Divas. So I sit there and subsequently I watch. And the ending of last season, it was supposed to end on, Paige's like
draft,
MRI and like all her stuff, but they just 86 that and it just ended in, Rusev and Lana's wedding and all that stuff. So I knew once they 86 that part of Total Divas, like just basically kick Paige out of it, it was done.
But I find it interesting.
And then this shows up, and then there's no coming back from this.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I said, I really don't think she cares. Like she, like personally, is like, hey, y'all really got into my stuff, and I don't appreciate that, sure. But what about the WWE career? Okay, but it's the fact that she's doing her thing right now, and I don't think she really cares what WWE is going to do with her because she's probably looking past that in the first place.
She's probably looking at
I feel like
Indies or TNA, but honestly,
that's all about
it's going to be a while.
I personally,
because you had such promising young talent coming into the WWE, and then it just got marred with controversy and all that.
And I think that and the fact that you brought that up brings you to my point. I feel like the second Paige stopped caring is when they brought up Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks, because that spotlight was taken from her just like that. Because I always tell my brother, I just find it funny where Paige's career went from. The day after WrestleMania 30, she beat the longest reigning Divas champion at the time, AJ Lee. At WrestleMania 31, she was in the only Divas match. Yeah, she was in the only Divas match against the Bella Twins. And WrestleMania 32, she was resorted to the pre-show. It shows how much a difference a year makes in her career. Because as soon as Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch came up, what was Paige doing after that? Her spotlight was on her anymore.
To crappy, female mid-card matches.
To the heel, exactly. And it's sad. Even Alicia Fox, it's funny. Alicia Fox, who has done doing nothing, at least she's still getting pay-per-view matches somewhat.
Even if they're on the pre-show, they're still there.
I know, but still, it's like at least she's there. Paige was.
It's tough.
Anything.
It's tough for female talent. Period. They just get eclipsed.
No pun intended, probably, but.
But other than that, the one person that I kind of feel bad for is Xavier Woods. But at the same time, like I said earlier, Xavier's taking this as like, oh, okay, that happened. Yeah, okay,
we need to see what's going to happen post WrestleMania.
Yeah,
with New Day.
I kind of feel bad the fact that they kind of gave him the hosting duties anyway but also at the same time they've been working on a DVD that's supposed to be coming out later on this year. That was supposed to go off like
New Day,
the whole title defense and everything they've been doing. So how is that going to go?
You have to understand the New Day's position. They were the longest reigning tag team champions, right? Mm-hmm. Why resort them into a multi-man tag team match with they're not going to win anyway? The way I looked at it is that when the New Day lost the titles, they should have just turned heel just like that. It would have been the perfect story.
But
it was the longest reigning tag team champion, and you just lost the title through shenanigans, which was ironic because It's kind of ironic. That's how they won titles in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they lost it through the same way. And so then they should have just turned heel right there. But now it's just the second they lost, they just went to a side story title. So now it was like, what the hell?
Yeah, is it
and
like I said? I feel like they're just doing this because right now they're just. I think they're the second.
I don't know what they're doing today.
Well, they're like the second or third highest money making
for sales or
for sales of WWE right now.
Well, that's the biggest thing is their market. You know, people love the New Day brand. That's why they actually, you know, Bootios was a joke, and then it became a T-shirt with a cereal box. People say, "Why don't you make actual cereal?" So they made actual cereal.
It works.
They're sitting there and running with the New Day because they're market gold.
And now they actually coming.
Which is ironic.
Yeah,
I know it's ironic because the whole gimmick was like dead in the water at the beginning, but somehow
just gained momentum.
Somehow they made it work.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. When the New Day first started, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "Kofi Kingston deserves better." When I first seen, I was like, "Yeah, Kofi Kingston deserves way better." At that time, I could really care less about Xavier Woods and Big E. But the second they won the tag team titles,
that's the thing is you got to remember, man. Big E had a lot of promise to be a main eventer, and then he just got kind of pushed down with the New Day because when he came in, you know, remember he was there with Ziggler. And then once he broke off from Ziggler, they were like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" Like, okay, let's.
And who could forget the statement of, "Oh, I got the mic down."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was backstage. Yeah.
But other than that is the fact that like we also got to remember when New Day first started, it was supposed to be. And some people say it was supposed to be something like a Nation of Domination type thing, from where because Xavier came out was like trying to enhance the minds of people and blah 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 blah. They trying to be like the Malcolm
X. I remember, yeah.
And then it just
I remember that like on Mania. Yeah, it was that, yeah.
And everybody thought, oh my God, this might be like the new Nation of Domination, somewhat like that. And that's when it became what New Day started out to be. Like, what the hell is this? But it just started to get more. I remember one of the old quotes: "If we don't clap, we snap." And that made them sort of dangerous. Like we're going to clap because if we don't clap, we're going to snap. And I remember one time they actually did sort of snap on a tag team because they lost. So it started out good and it became better, and that's my point.
Yeah.
It became the best thing for WWE for like months until, like in my opinion, until AJ Styles came.
Yeah, but getting back to the point though, it kind of sucks that. Xavier Woods got roped into this, and really with Xavier Woods roped into it, so is the rest of the New Day.
And Xavier Woods is more of the mouthpiece of the.
I consider him the leader.
Yeah, you consider him the leader. Because he does wrestle when he wants to, when he can. He's more of the mouthpiece. Like everyone in that team can talk. They can do a promo, except when Big E's not drinking like he was back in Fastlane. But but everyone is good on the mic, but Xavier Woods does the most talking. So, but I don't think. You may or may not see him on Monday Night Raw this Monday.
No. It would be stupid of them because if they're going to be. This is going to be the hardest 2 weeks for them. Raw this Monday. They're in Brooklyn, New York. So good luck with that, and then.
One of the most rowdiest crowds next to Chicago.
Wait after.
Our city. They're gonna be in my city, Philadelphia, in the final Raw for WrestleMania. So it's like they have a no-win situation because they know for a fact if the New Day comes out, it's done. All they're gonna be chanting is Paige. That's all they're gonna be chanting. Like they
got to get ready with the freaking. The censors, man, because if they let holy shit fall through the
you know what's funny? I told my friend after Fastlane because he was gonna buy. My birthday was a couple days ago, so he was gonna buy Raw tickets for me as a birthday gift. And after Fastlane, I told him, "Don't do that, please. I don't want to sit through that because that's how bad Fastlane was." So.
Fastlane. Because you guys weren't here last week when I was talking about Fastlane. Fastlane to me, minus the 2 matches that were added out of nowhere, the only good match on there, which is ironic, which was the cruiserweight match, was people thought was the least expected good match. I thought Cruiserweight match was the best match on the show.
That was, to me, that was the best match on the show. But other than that, Fastlane
felt like the best match on the show.
Fastlane to me felt like an episode of Raw just on Sunday.
It did.
They just do this stuff to like get pop storylines out. Literally, Fastlane is just like it was like Roadblock last year. Like, let's just throw this out there because we need to get some bullshit out before we hit full WrestleMania season.
But at the same time, it's like, don't. I told them, please don't buy me Raw tickets. I'm fine. Now I'm kind of regretting it now because I want to know because
I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to Payback after May.
Okay, that's in your city.
Yeah. Well, it's 20 minutes away, but it's still.
I got you.
It's close. But Justin, you know, like we're both from Philly, so Justin, you know how our fan base gets.
Oh yeah, no. It's funny. It's SmackDown because I went to the Smackdown event in October of 2015. It was the main event because at that time SmackDown was still taped. It was the main event. It was Roman Reigns and Randy Orton versus the Wyatt family. In the crowd, they was booing the whole match. They was booing Roman Reigns. I rewatched the SmackDown broadcast because I know they do that. They edited it. And it's like it shows the point. Yeah. They edited it with Roman Reigns. I was like, this did not happen.
Funny thing is too,
it didn't happen.
Actually, I have a story from SmackDown too. So for some reason, I think this is before New Day actually hooked up because it was just Kofi Kingston by himself. It was Kofi Kingston versus I want to say Kane. I think it was Kane because Kane was heel at the time. So it was Kofi and Kane. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Kofi and Rusev. That's what happened. So apparently they botched the ending of the match and everything. And being that it was taped, they did the whole match over again.
I did hear stuff about that. Yeah, I do hear stuff about that on SmackDown. I had to redo stuff.
Yeah,
sometimes.
They had to do it over again because if it doesn't look on tape, it's just like, oh well, okay, let's do something else.
I mean, I was lucky enough to catch SmackDown in October. Basically, I think it was just right when Ziggler won the IC title from Miz. And it's funny because on TV, like wifey's not super scared, but like the Wyatts freak her out because it's really dark.
Yeah.
And when they're walking the ring, it's really dark. But we were there and we're like, it's really bright in here. Like when the Wyatts come out, it's bright. Like
because those freaking cell phones. Because those cell phones. That's why
I could see you.
Yeah.
And then the funny part is they edited it too because I remember the finish of the match. It was a tag match. It was Kane and Orton versus the Wyatts. So Harper and Bray, and that was when the lights went out and Harper ended up in Kane's spot and Kane was gone.
Oh yeah. How did that happen? How did that happen?
So we taped it, of course. Obviously we taped it and came home and watched it. So when we taped it, that whole thing took about 5 seconds. In real life, it took about 30. So those lights
it was on a tape. So it was on a tape delay. They delayed it like for like 30. Okay, I see what they did.
No, in real time, it took 30 seconds for Harper to get down, run around. You could see him doing this too. Get down, run around to where Kane is. Kane jumps down from the apron, rolls under the ring, and then Harper gets in the way. They wait for a cue, and then they bring on the lights.
Yeah,
so it took about 30 seconds, but on TV it took about 5.
I know, that's what I was like. I was like, there's no way how Luke Harper got there that fast when I was looking at it.
As a matter of fact, I have my own little story about that whole thing because I have a friend who was in I have a bunch of cousins who actually are in wrestling, who actually do wrestling. So when they call that like the WWE time or like ECW time. So what that means is that when the lights go off, when you do that kind of thing, when the lights goes off, they give you a count. And it's like you have 30 seconds, between 15 to 30 seconds to get in the ring, get in position, and be ready. Mm-hmm. All right. And they give you a countdown too of as soon as the lights goes off, go, 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 go. I've seen them when I went to a bunch of ECW shows when I was younger, but I also saw it recent. The last time I saw it was when it was the Raw before WrestleMania when CM Punk was racing the Undertaker. Oh, I'm sorry, it was just the Undertaker because WWE pulls. Yeah. So when CM Punk was calling out Taker and the lights go off, you hear the gong. It's that freeze time, that WWE freeze time, which is kind of like if you watch JoJo Bizarre Adventure, that whole freeze thing they do. It's like that, and you can see the Undertaker come from the crowd. He's somewhat being led by security guard to come through the crowd, go over the bearer, and go he's either under the ring or sometimes I had to go through the crowd, go over the bearer, go into the ring, and stand in position for the choke slam. And by the time 30 seconds is up and the lights come back on, that's when you the Taker's right there. And TV time, it's like, oh my God, what the hell happened? Oh God, just for boom, he's right there.
I always wondered how fast Undertaker can get to that ring.
So this is what they do, though. Sometimes it's pretty brilliant on what they do. So when they taped it, obviously they tape. So this was before 205 Live was a thing.
Yeah.
By the way. So they taped SmackDown. They also taped Main Event.
Mm-hmm.
So the WWE Network exclusive Saturday show.
I mean, I know. I don't know what happened.
So between every couple of matches, there'll be a crew coming out, messing with the side of the ring, changing the apron drapes, and changing the ropes, changing the turnbuckles, whatever they need to do. What they'll do sometimes is they'll have one of the superstars dress up in ring crew apparel, and then once they're done helping with the ring, they'll just slide under.
That is smart.
So sometimes the superstars who come out of nowhere will be underneath the ring. And what'll happen sometimes is, there'll be a slip and you'll see a foot because somebody's under the ring. So that's how they get there so fast without the crowd really knowing. They'll pop out from under the ring because they were a ring crew, kind of like what Dean Ambrose did, when he dressed up as
the cameraman inside Jericho.
Yeah. They'll do that, make them look like they're working on the ring, and then when nobody's really looking, they'll just slide under, take off their, disguise, and wow.
Yeah, because to this day, I always remember in Elimination Chamber 2010, how long was Shawn Michaels standing under that ring?
Oh,
was it for the whole show? Because there was realistically, because I rewatched the show just out of curiosity. Unless it was during the Undertaker's entrance, there was realistically no way they could not have seen Shawn Michaels. There was no other entrance that had like a dark.
It's one of those things where you have to be there to really see what happened.
Because
I really didn't know until I actually went to an event. I'm like, oh, that's how they can do it. Because a lot of commercial breaks, the ring crew will come out and like fix the apron because it gets screwed up during a match, or just check up on the ring. Same with like cameraman, sound guy, because there's so many people around ringside, you don't know who's who. You got sound guys, you got wire guys, you got producers, you got everybody around ringside, and it's very hard to tell. Unless you're front row, if there's like somebody in a disguise, because to you, I mean, I was in the section above the regular floor seats. So like you had floor seats where they give you the chairs and then you start going up. I was there and you can't really tell. Everyone just kind of looks the same. Obviously you can make out who's who, but if they're looking like one of 12, ring preppers, you're not going to be able to tell if it's, Taker or Dean Ambrose or anybody like that.
Yeah, I just always found. I mean, I wish I could just go to a Raw one day.
But anyways, it's very interesting.
I know,
it's
live events are amazing. If you can go, I think you do.
It's the magic of wrestling.
It is.
It's very interesting. And just to put it out there, the coolest stuff happens at either house shows or when the cameras are not rolling.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because after that SmackDown, there was a 3v3 match with Ziggler, Cena, and Bella versus Carmella, Corbin, and Miz. And it was probably the best 3v3 match ever. At one point, there was a triple suplex where everybody locked into a single suplex. So Cena grabbed, Miz, and then Ziggler. So basically, it just ended up being
like that, and then all three of them,
and all three flip back at the same time. Probably one of the greatest things in the world.
Yeah.
And of course, the cameras aren't rolling because it's a damn shame.
It's always
the good stuff. Yeah, it's always the good stuff that happens when the cameras aren't rolling.
Go to house shows. House shows the best crap. It's like Finn Balor returning.
Oh yeah, I seen a video of that. It's amazing.
I watched that whole match of a video from the crowd.
I mean, one thing I'm gonna bring up before we get to Raw. And that's the other thing I never understood about house shows. Now I get the premise of. I mean, I get the whole. In my opinion, I think house shows are for like rehearsal for pay-per-views because
house
some
shows
matches
are rehearsal, rehabilitation, and testing the waters. Because house shows are a lot more rowdy. I could tell you this because I actually went to an NXT house show, and That's the great thing. I'm just going to put that out there too. When you go to a main show like Raw or SmackDown, you've got a lot of children, a lot of people who are like fair weather watchers. But when you go to like NXT,
NXT
those are hardcore people.
Yeah,
who are
NXT
watching.
is always you're going to have that hardcore crowd.
I swear though, with like some of the biggest pops you will ever hear are at NXT house, or just at house shows in general. But NXT more so because it's not televised on national cable.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you have to think about it. NXT. They're only in, for the most part, Orlando, and people only watch the WWE Network, which is for hardcore fans. So the people who are going to go to an NXT event, besides if you're even living in the city, are those hardcore NXT fans to begin with. So it's like, of course you're going to have those people.
There weren't many matches that were televised when I went to that. There were a couple matches that were for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. That did get aired
that week. Yeah.
The first one or the second one?
The second one.
Okay, because
this was still like October area.
Okay,
because literally it was like, okay, Tuesday we're gonna do SmackDown, and then I think it was like Friday where they went to, we did the NXT one at a university, by the way, so crowd was a lot smaller. But you can actually see me because we got floor seats, hard camera. You could barely see my little face popping up in the fourth row, like doing this. There are a couple Dusty Rhodes Classic, Tag Team Classic matches.
Was that the same? I remember the episode. Was that the same one with Austin Aries when he revealed that he couldn't wrestle? Was it that one, or was it the other one when it was Sanity versus?
Yes, that was the one where Austin Aries came out versus TM61, and he was
so I remember that one.
It was the one-on-one match. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I definitely remember that one. Okay, then.
Yeah, so that was it. There were a couple other good matches that obviously will never see the light of day. Like, I actually got to see one of Patrick Clark's first matches, and I remember it was the greatest thing because the whole entire arena when he came out was chanting "Purple Rain." So the whole crowd was "Purple Rain."
I haven't yet been to the NXT that comes to Philadelphia.
I wanted, I always wanted.
When you get there, it was amazing.
It always comes at a bad time for me. Like most of the time when they announce it, it's like, hey, we're gonna be here in 2 weeks. I don't have money for that. But so
our floor seats were $75 a seat, and those were like fourth row on the floor, hard camera.
Yeah, so
my SmackDown ticket was 110. I guess that's well, that was a live event. Yeah, because when I went to SmackDown, my ticket was $110 just for the front row ticket for $100. I thought that was a good deal at least.
Most of the time when I go to wrestling shows, like I said, is my friend Chris, who's also in the room right now. Hey, Chris, I'm giving you a shout out. He probably doesn't know, but he'll probably message me in about a couple of seconds. But anyway, but when NXT comes here, the one person I missed was this guy, and I can't think of his name. His whole persona was supposed to be like a black Donald Trump. It didn't go well.
Well, it was Patrick. Well, I think it was Patrick Clark.
Yeah, that was Patrick Clark's original one before he went with the Prince
gimmick. Yeah,
that was his name. Okay, it did not go well here.
No,
He was beat out of the
whole. It didn't help matters that the arena was the old ECW arena anyway, so that didn't help matters at all.
No. It wasn't the ECW arena. It was at You just messaged me. It wasn't ECW arena. It was at the Tower Theater.
Okay.
Up at Derby.
But I will say, if you could do an NXT show, do it, because the main event that night was Bobby Roode, which that entrance is just the whole arena. The whole arena is singing his fucking entrance music. It was Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe versus Ty Dillinger and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh man,
some of the best wrestlers out there. Some of the best crowd, those guys with their crowd interaction. Everyone's singing Bobby Roode's theme. When Samoa Joe comes out, the whole arena screaming Joe at the top of their lungs. Everyone's doing 10 when Ty Dillinger comes out. Everyone's singing along with Shinsuke.
Trust me. What city are you from, by the way?
Oh, I'm San Jose, California.
Oh, so you're out there. Oh, lucky you. Y'all got PWG.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ! I always want to.
We also have Pro Wrestling Revolution here, which is
but I always want to go to Pro Wrestling GM show, but of course we're already in the East Coast and everything. But our fan base when when they come here and everything like that, people do the same exact thing and everything. Like the NXT fans are real hardcore, and it does help the fact that we have your excuse me, your old school ECW fans here too. So you got that in there, but it's one of those things that I really want to do one day, and hopefully whenever we can get WrestleMania when our mayor is not being a dickhead, we will hopefully. Yeah, well, actually, to tell you the truth, Royal Rumble, because remember,
we are getting a Royal Rumble. We are getting a Royal Rumble,
and I might be doing.
I'm definitely buying a ticket. Yeah.
Yes, I might be doing that whole weekend. Depending, I got a year to think about it.
Yeah,
I might do that whole weekend. Although I don't know, I might.
You should, man. If you can get that, I mean, because I didn't have the fortunate funds to go to WrestleMania when it was in Levi Stadium. When
you talk about WrestleMania 31?
But I was in town and like around for all the festivities. The festivities made it awesome.
The WrestleMania that we were supposed to get, but the true story. So WrestleMania 31 technically was actually supposed to go to us in Philadelphia, but our mayor at the time was a dickhead and was asking the WWE for more money. Like we was a pretty short shot of getting WrestleMania here. We were had it at our football stadium.
We were supposed to get it for WrestleMania 34. It just at the last second went to New Orleans again. We were supposed to get it for WrestleMania 34. But
because it was the same. It's the same as that thing. We kept asking for more money, like because we already when they come here, they're already going to put in revenue. We're already going to get money and stuff like that for having because they had to pay like a big fee of like electricity, security, and all this other stuff. They was going to give them the big thing, but at the time for 31, the mayor at that time was asking for like $3 million more, and Vince was like, "No, fuck that. We're just going to go somewhere else," and that's why he went to San Francisco. And it's like that was supposed to be us.
I mean, well, hopefully one day it does go there, but not the way.
I mean, I'm stoked for Payback because it's going to be my first WWE pay-per-view
event. Yeah,
I'm super excited, and of course,
and that's a Raw event too, right?
Yeah, it's a Raw event, so I'm going to get the great backlash storylines from WrestleMania.
Well, isn't that? Oh, no, it won't be with the draft because the draft is good.
I don't know.
They're talking about another draft.
When the draft happens, they say there's going to be some call-ups and some trades post WrestleMania, but the draft I think is going to be taking place in May or June, and of course
it makes sense. It makes sense. I would do it like right before SummerSlam. I always do it. I
just don't want because since I've been to a Smackdown event, I don't want to miss some superstars. That
personally for me. I feel like because I tend not to try to read too much of the dirt sheets, but there's a rumor that Reigns might go to SmackDown.
Yeah, and actually that's actually my main that's actually title of this video. So actually, before we get to Raw, I guess we should just talk about that rumor before I actually get to Raw. So apparently the rumor is currently, the first rumor is that Roman Reigns is apparently supposed to go to SmackDown after after WrestleMania, which coincides with another rumor that it just got brought up because apparently WrestleMania 34 main event was Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. So I don't know what's happening there.
Well, again, you got to remember Lesnar is a part-timer, so that means he could skip between shows. But part-timers can skip between shows unless they're the champion. Because remember, Undertaker skip between full shows. They can do that.
Also,
because part-timers have that ability.
To add on that too, because we already know it's a surefire thing. So to add on the fact that Brock Lesnar is probably going to win, not even probably,
it's obvious.
It's an obvious thing.
I would be shocked. I mean, to be fair, ever since Survivor Series, I have to give it to WWE. They unexpectedly did the complete opposite outcome of what I was expecting that Survivor Series would go over.
There's a lot coming, and I mean,
Lesnar
is going to put Goldberg down. He's going to take the strap because. And it's Goldberg's contract. He's only got one more Raw show in his contract, and then he has WrestleMania.
But also, next year is Brock Lesnar's contract is also over too.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure he might re-sign for one more year after that. I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. I think he's in his 40s, man. He might not go the route like other wrestlers and try to wrestle to their 50 whatever. And you also got to remember he has that condition or whatever that. No, that whole breathing thing So he might be actually. This might actually be his last go round with this, and then after that, he might actually just be done. And then after that, you got Roman Reigns, which shoot me now.
I think a lot of the WWE universe is on the same boat with Reigns. I mean, I hate to say it, but at one point he is going to replace John Cena as top.
It's obvious.
People hate him, but kids love him. It's going to happen. I mean, it's already kind of. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the thing about Roman Reigns that just gets me, I've said this to people before. The thing between Roman Reigns and John Cena is, yes, we all made fun of the fact that John Cena is Super Cena and he does this and anything like that, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, John Cena can legit put on some good matches on his own. He can actually carry a match. Not saying that Roman Reigns can't wrestle, but Roman Reigns sometimes don't really know how to carry a match. Like I think. I'm surprised he has to carry that match with Roman.
His match with AJ Styles is a perfect example of that. If it wasn't for AJ Styles,
oh no, that match would have been garbage.
Yeah, it was. Both his match with AJ Styles, it was prior to that, Triple H couldn't even do anything with him.
Exactly, that's my point. Like Triple H is a master of everything. Like when it comes to wrestling, he's a wrestling technician. How can you?
I know, and people trying to blame on Triple H. I was like, no. The month prior to that, he fought Dean Ambrose in an incredible match at Roadblock. So it was it wasn't Triple H.
It's one of these things where he's Vince's golden boy. If Vince wasn't still leading things, Roman would not be such a big thing because then you
he wouldn't.
He wouldn't. The only people that are really high on Roman right now is Vince. Vince is high on him because they want him to take over as the top babyface because Cena is, after Mania, Cena's going to fade to black again because he's got another movie to do. He's got Hollywood to answer to.
And also he's about to be engaged with
Nikki Bella supposedly.
Supposedly it's been floating around, that it's going to happen
at the end of the match. Yeah, at the end of the match.
Which it's not going to really be a surprise because if it's like leaking and spoilers, Nikki's obviously seen this and she's like, "Oh well."
She should just say no. Just be.
Just because of being a dick rat, holding out all these years,
Be like, listen, I'll marry you, but you have to promise me that we have a baby. No, I'd rather continue.
Yeah, I told you this episode was ridiculous. I always remember that episode when he said like I will marry you, but that was the most ridiculous thing.
I'm looking to see this. This is where it's gonna happen. Is they're gonna go over at Mania. Obviously, you're gonna beat Miz and Marie.
Makes no sense. I know that doesn't make it. They don't need it.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but this is how it happens. He proposes. They're done. Cena fades to Hollywood, still works part-time.
And then Nikki Bella's Nikki Bella's apparently supposed to be done. Yeah, that's why I say so it's like I think it's
so after this she's done.
To be fair, I guess I'm looking at it that way, but in a story perspective, what would it do for the Miz? Because then think about it, if John Cena's going, let's just say Bray Wyatt, okay, let's just say Randy Orton's champion. Let's just say Bray Orton comes out as champion. I'm just saying just so happy, I don't think it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. The only top heels left would be The Miz, Baron Corbin somewhat. And if AJ Styles leaves, then it'll only be those two. So it's like, they have to make Miz win, make him.
Oh, you got Ziggler. Technically.
No. So let's. I have a suggestion here, Crater. Before we start jumping too far into this, and talking about heels and faces, because this is all SmackDown talk.
Oh yeah,
we were talking about going into Raw.
So let's go into Raw.
So let's go into Raw. Because I feel as if this was probably one of the best Raws of the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, so actually, let's break it down then. So, opening segment was from Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman. Obviously, Paul Heyman. No matter what you give Paul Heyman, he will always cut probably the great.
Paul Heyman can take a big old sack of shit and turn it into diamonds.
Yes. In this part,
the whole crowd talks longer.
And then in this part, I'm going to need y'all to tell me exactly what happened because for those first 20 so seconds, my electric went off because I've been having electrical problems with that big fire we had here. So I missed like a good 45 minutes of Raw Monday.
It's a Paul Heyman promo. I'll break it down if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Braun Breaker.
What ends up happening is Open curtain. Obviously, Lesnar's music hits. The crowd goes crazy. Heyman comes out. My name is Paul Heyman, blah, 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 and my client, Brock Lesnar. They're dropping a promo where Heyman then reveals his Heyman's WrestleMania theory of relativity, which basically equals F5 equals Goldberg, or Lesnar goes up, Goldberg goes down. And of course, Heyman being the just genius mind child that he is, Heyman is a godsend on the mic. One of the best managers, honestly, since the Mouth of the South.
Yeah.
He
pretty
comes
much
out,
just gave the spoiler alert then, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, and he goes. Obviously, they were talking about last week when Lesnar hit Goldberg with the F5 in the middle of the ring, and
killed him.
Yeah, and made Goldberg take his first real bump since coming back.
What killed me that whole second is why was Goldberg still holding the belt? Just why?
Yeah, no,
because it's the source of his power.
Dangerous.
I know it was just. It's not
anyways.
Yeah.
He and he panders to the crowd. He's really good at pandering to the crowd. And he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Goldberg will not be here," and he's just. Fucking Paul Heyman on the mic is glorious. Of course, it just ends in a promo, him talking about how Lesnar's going to destroy him, which I was surprised he didn't mention the whole thing that he used to at Survivor Series, where he's going to be, beaten and all that. I forget what it's victimized and destroyed.
Well, see, my favorite line from Paul Heyman has always been, especially WrestleMania 31, when he first started, like, the reigning, defending, undisputed. I always love when he says that with Brock Lesnar. I'm glad we will be able to hear it again once he becomes champion. I always loved when he said that.
We will. It seems so. Yeah, that whole promo was basically just Heyman shit talking Goldberg. Hyping up the match.
Which again, no. So I always leave like the pay-per-view card at the end of the show we talk about. So we'll talk about the WrestleMania card as of at the end. Yeah, so we'll talk about our thoughts on the match, at least as of now, as of this week, what happened. Yeah,
so that was your
typical Paul Heyman
promo. Your opening promo, which is a good way to open. If you could open with Heyman every week, you would have you'd have gold.
And then
I mean, if y'all have the time, go on YouTube. Unless he took it down, there's a thing of him when he did like his one night show in the UK of just him telling stories and everything like that. Some of the best hour and a couple of minutes you'll have. Just listen to him tell stories of things that went on in his life. Pretty much, it's some of the greatest things. So that man is just amazing on the mic.
No, you're all right. I could listen to Paul Heyman all day if I really would. Yeah.
Anybody who goes under his wing as a Paul Heyman guy is going to be. I mean, look at the people who have been Paul Heyman guys. They are quality wrestlers who deserve to be main eventers. Some of them didn't really make main event.
Cesaro.
Cesaro really needs to be a main eventer, but
I feel like
besides the point.
I feel like if Roman Reigns does leave, that actually gives him an opportunity.
I
actually think that if I kind of wanted Cesaro to go on SmackDown because SmackDown, I feel like SmackDown would treat him better.
They would, but
right now the Sheamus and Cesaro tag team is actually working. It's going over pretty well.
It's funny because I thought when it's so funny. So let me just bring that up real quick. When the whole Best of 7 series started, I was like, this is just fucking ridiculous. But as soon as that 7 match happened, it's just something it just caught everybody's attention that last match. And me and my brother was watching, it was like, as soon as it ended, no contest, I was like, are you fucking serious? We need to have a winner. I've been sitting through this for 7 fucking matches, and now we don't have a winner. Yeah. It's like, and WWE somehow they pulled it off. I don't think WWE was expected to work in.
I really think WWE was not expecting that to be good, and they pulled gold out.
They somehow pulled it out. And ironically, they became a team that just formed was the same team that ended the New Day's reign. That shows how much faith they had in them.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not just the fact of giving them something to do. They are both legit good, and the tag team is actually doing better than what most people was expecting. But I kind of feel like that after a while they're going to be like, oh well, I guess we should probably.
Well, they're eventually going to split. I know they're eventually going to split. Yeah. I'm just waiting for Sheamus to eventually tag Cesaro, and it will. I mean, it'll be fine. But just
is it me or is it me? I don't like face Sheamus. It doesn't feel right.
Well, because some superstars are meant to be one thing. Like for one, like you have Stone Cold, he could go either way. Rocky go either way.
See, but here's the thing: you had. Sorry to cut you off there, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you. Even when they went both ways, heel and face, they were still those top guys.
No, that's my point.
Heel Rocky in the corporation was still a love superstar. And no matter where you put him next to fucking Vince McMahon, and people still cheered him.
No, that was my point. Like you get, like he'll get a good reaction, but like for example, the Miz, when Miz turned face for the first time, that never really clicked.
It didn't click with me because I'm like the whole thing, like with Miz and John and Johnny. I'm about to call him Johnny Nitro.
When he betrayed him, like when he betrayed him.
Yeah, but when he was with him, it's like with that he was a dick and everything. Like the Miz's character to me is always going to be him as a dick. And
so it was when Sheamus, when he turned face, it was like, okay, so for the longest you expected me. I mean, it's like you betrayed Sheamus as this like warrior who just went through everybody. He beat John Cena within his first month on the main roster, become WWE champion, and then it's like
Triple H in a bad match, but
yeah, but like you said earlier, there's a big difference that a year makes. You had a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I know it is a big difference.
Card talent that either got won titles that got released or got put down to the mid card.
I mean, Jack Swagger, but
Swagger was a champion, was a world champion, and he just got.
Nobody remembers that.
Nobody remembers Swagger.
I actually just remember when you said something.
Yeah, that's it's sad too. It is like
nobody remembers Swagger as a champion.
And like
a lot of people still forget too. Miz was world champion too. He was main event in WrestleMania.
And it's like it was overshadowed with The Rock and John Cena. But like getting back to the point is just some like I can for example, I can personally never see Bray Wyatt as a face. I can see him getting cheered. That's no like I can see him get cheered. I can't personally see a face Bray Wyatt.
But when they cheer for a heel, it's not because they're cheering heel action. They're cheering him.
They're cheering for their work. I know for his work. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like AJ Styles. No matter every week, AJ Styles cheer. No matter what happens, even with this week, no matter what happens.
Yep,
they will always cheer him because he's just that good.
It's good heel action. That's what it is. He's succeeding at his job.
It's like no matter. That's why eventually you might as well just turn him face. Eventually, I can already see him eventually turning face anyway, which we'll get to in the SmackDown part.
Yeah,
but
SmackDown.
So back to this. I would talk about the McFoley and Stephanie segment because this happened mid, but I'll talk about that at the end since it pretty much culminated at the end. So right after that, it was Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke with Charlotte. Now
I came in the middle of that.
Yeah. So prior to this,
Bailey was ringside too. Remember that?
Bailey. Bailey was ringside. Yeah, that's a key thing. Well, prior to this, it was a video on the Raw on the YouTube channel WWE.com saying how all she wants Dana Brooke to do is just like beat up Sasha so she won't make it to WrestleMania. Obviously, in less than like 2 minutes, Sasha Banks won. After the match, Charlotte yelled at.
It should be noted though, because this is an important thing that Corey Graves pointed it out. Sasha won dirty by grabbing the tights.
That is
important to point out because
it is a apparent rumor that Sasha Banks is supposed to turn.
She could be turning.
Also, can I just say one thing too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember when they was saying the women's revolution on how they was not going to be doing these 2-minute matches anymore?
I mean.
The thing is too is not only are they like it's good that they actually get a match off because there are some times where they feign a match where they're gonna do it and somebody interferes and the match doesn't take place.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, it's gonna be so and so versus so and so, and then it
never happened. And it never happened.
We got Carmella versus Nikki, but then Natty comes out and hits Nikki.
And the
match doesn't end up happening. It's like, well. At least they get a match off.
Well, the one thing I give credit for is that most of these women matches, like on SmackDown, I know I'm keep referencing SmackDown, at least they get commercial breaks too. So it's like they're giving them. It's better than 2 years ago. That's all I can say. Like
definitely
2 years ago, this wouldn't be happening.
No,
like at least they're actually getting real time, which is ironic because the cruiserweights on the other hand which we'll get into once we get to cruiserweight aspect, is like, well, I'll explain cruiserweight, but back to this. After
Dana
that,
Sasha.
Dana, I guess, is the face now, which I would,
I get it.
If I would,
I get it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know really how to. Well, yeah.
So
here's
what happened, because I fully pulled all my attention into this. So what happened is, obviously Charlotte has taken Dana under her wing constantly and basically been like the whooping boy. It's kind of like that person that you're like, yeah, you could stay with me, but I get to like berate you and make you feel like the lowest person ever. Dana's been the lackey. It's more of just like, you could be next to me, but I get to make fun of you as much as I want. And that's how Dana's kind of been. So what happened was Charlotte wanted Dana to basically cripple Sasha so she wouldn't have that much, of a contest at WrestleMania. Well, what ended up happening, obviously Sasha went dirty. Sasha leaves the ring. Charlotte comes in, cuts a promo on how Dana is no longer under her wing. She's just the worst. She gave her a simple command, simple task. And she couldn't even do that. And as she's cutting this promo, you could see Dana just getting more heated, building up, just ready to unleash. And what ends up happening is Dana just tees off on Charlotte, and the crowd goes insane.
Which is surprising.
I wouldn't say insane like a huge pop, but the crowd was. Yeah. They were happy for this. So he beats Charlotte for 30 seconds to a minute. The whole crowd starts chanting Dana.
I was actually surprised about that, because I legit thought there's not really that many people who actually like Dana Brooke like that. So
I like Dana Brooke because of her work in NXT. The main roster.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I actually like it.
Wise, I mean, hasn't really been that many people that like. I probably should have said it like that. It was main roster wise, but even then, like, I'm actually surprised that they actually went off and was like, "Hey, all right, we're cheering for you now." So
what's going to end up happening? And I wish they would have done something a little bit better, because this was a face turn, but I don't really know how full of a face turn this was. This could have just been, really I'm tired of your shit, and I'm distancing myself from you, because as we know, Emma Luna is not going to work, so they're doing the whole fucking thing with Emma Luna.
I'm sick of it.
I'm just, you know what?
It blew me, so let's just talk about,
sour taste in everybody's mouth.
17 weeks.
17 weeks just for her to come out for a minute and say, you're going to wait for me to come back as Emma.
The 17, that was the longest blue balls I've ever had in my life. with her.
I think that's what they're doing, is they're severing those ties with her and Charlotte just so Dana Brooke can get back.
Yeah, because originally Dana Brooke came up to the main roster to be with Emma anyway, so
and then Emma hurt her spine, and
so they're just following suit with the storyline anyway. So they're just gonna follow, which I have no problem with, because I think they could have done a lot better. Anyway.
What they could have done is they could have totally jump started Emma back into the picture with the whole Dana Brooke thing and Charlotte. There could have been
so three of them could be together, like the three blondes. I guess I don't
know. No, not as a stable, but I'm talking about basically you're just pitting Emma against Charlotte.
Okay.
And the fight over Dana Brooke, because Charlotte kind of just took Emma, and you could have really fueled off that. Charlotte could have played the I made Dana Brooke who she is, and Emma could have played the, you know what, I brought Dana Brooke here. I'm the one who's responsible for getting here, and then Charlotte plays that, well, I'm the one responsible for getting her to where she is now.
Which is ironic, because in NXT, those two hate each other and hate Dana Brooke. It's just I always laugh at when like NXT storylines don't apply to anything. Perfect example.
Who knows? It could be a full face turn. It could just be a distance myself from Charlotte to make her either go back to Emma or try to build her as her own singles character.
I feel like she'd be better off as a singles character, because Dana Brooke has gotten better.
She still needs a whole bunch of development. There are a lot of.
She's gotten.
She got called up way too early, Mike. She should stay there for another year. Some people got called up way too early in general, like Apollo Crews and American Alpha. I feel like they got called up way too early.
I don't know. I feel like, well, in my opinion,
Apollo Crews. No, send Apollo Crews back. I'm sorry, he's just.
No. I'm not talking about Apollo Crews. I'm talking about
American Alpha.
American Alpha. In my opinion, I think the one problem with SmackDown, I know we keep going back to SmackDown.
Yeah, I know. Because the one SmackDown is kind of better show. I know SmackDown is kind of better show. So
yeah, like, but the one problem with SmackDown, with SmackDown, excuse me, in my opinion, is the fact that they do not focus too much on their tag team, and when they do, it's always for the past couple of times. It's been like some type of 4-way scramble or something like that. And, it's
actually, I will. And it's perfect that you bring that up because I do want to bring that up during SmackDown.
Yeah,
because there's something I noticed. Yeah, there's something that I noticed with the tag division on SmackDown.
And there's a rumor going around too about SmackDown.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I think you know what I'm talking about, Craig.
Yeah,
we'll get to that when we get SmackDown.
So the next thing on Raw, what happened was T.J. Perkins characters out, teamed up with Brian Kendrick and Tony Nese. Now, besides the match itself, I just want to point out something to the Cruiserweight division. And maybe it's just me. Maybe no one I know. Besides Rich Swann versus Neville like 2 weeks ago for Cruiserweight title, which was an amazing match, by the way.
Neville breathed some life back into, the Cruiserweight division.
It's just, maybe it's just me, but it's like I feel like the only purpose at this point for the Raw with the Cruiserweight division is just to promote 205 Live. Maybe that's just me. Because
I think you're right. I'm right there with you.
They're besides Austin Aries officially fully debuting on the main roster on 2 weeks ago on Raw, no storylines never develop on Raw. They just segue right into 205. There's no.
Yeah, they try to hold them
until 205, which is fine. Which is fine, I guess, because I get
athletes.
Which I know it's I get it, but you can't. It's here's my issue with the Cruiserweight division. I overall think it's a good thing. I love the Cruiserweight division. It's just the issue, and I kind of blame on Cruiserweight Classic since it was in Orlando, Florida, which is again the Full Sail Universe versus the NXT crowd. You can't expect them to get the same reaction as a casual audience with regular crowds. No. And it's a part of me wish that 205 Live would be in Full Sail, but then I get the point where it's how would you ever show these characters off to a casual audience? It's I get that. It's a double-edged sword with the Cruiserweight division with me. It's I love the Cruiserweight division, but it's they keep getting just butchered by the no crowd reactions with the fans, and it's sad because they're all good.
I kind of think that I hate to do this again. I think that the Cruiserweight division should have went to SmackDown. And that whole thing.
I disagree.
They would never. Yeah, despite SmackDown probably being Atlanta, they would never got the time. They would never got it done.
I see where they wanted to go with 205 Live. The problem is you've got so many stars on each roster that they have to start creating so many new things to keep people to get people enough face time. 205 Live was created because once they brought the Cruiserweight division to Raw, they're well, now we're just taking up more time with 1 to 2 Cruiserweight matches, and it seems like people aren't as interested because it's a network thing. So it's more of trying to introduce your casual viewer to the network because 205 Live's on the network.
Exactly.
But that's the thing that gets me, because it's I feel that's one. You have the people on Raw, you have them on Raw, you have your 1 or 2 matches or whatever, and then you have whatnot on SmackDown Live. Or 205 Live. So I kind of feel that they might have gotten a little more if they have here's a build up match from SmackDown. Hey, we can sell this on 205 Live in an hour or whatever, and do something like that.
I do get your point, but it's funny because JBL brought up the interview and it proved my suspicion the whole time. He even said, good thing about Cruiserweight division, it fills up that 3rd hour Raw. That's the issue. Their sole purpose is just to fill up time for Raw. That's their sole purpose from
SmackDown. Goes to show you that you can have a good show in 2 hours with 4 matches.
All is just to fill up time. And for one point, I get that because you can only have so much of a Stephanie McMahon promo. I get that. But it's just give them opportunities. Perfect example. Grand Metalik only had 1 match at 205 Live. Why is he not on Raw?
Exactly.
Why is he not on Raw?
That's my thing.
That's my point. You keep pushing the same storylines we've already seen from 205 Live. Another person too. Tajiri is back. If anybody remembers, Tajiri is back. What happened?
He's only had 1 match on Raw. I want to see Tajiri for.
By the way,
and he came back. he came back, and when Brian Kendrick was still feuding Kira Tozawa. That's my point. Why they not? At first, I thought like maybe Kira Tozawa and Tajiri was gonna be a team because when Kira Tozawa,
if not a team, maybe an actual rivalry. Not even like a storyline rivalry. Just hey, you have to have a match with Akira Tozawa versus Tajiri. That would be gold. I will like that.
See, but 205 comes at the same area as like main event and everything. It's for people to try to break through on a mid-card show to get to the main card. 205 Live is there for some of these cruiserweights to end up on Raw. Like
Raw cruiser. I know.
People, Brian Kendrick has, alumni status. He's an OG.
Brian Kendrick is like really the only fully developed character.
TJ Perkins kind of fell flat on his face, unfortunately. But like people like, you see the physicality of like Tony Nese.
By the way, he
has a lot of promise in him, and that's why they put him in that match. Say that 6-man match right there was a lot of people that have been showing a lot of promise on 205 Live for a while that they want to introduce to the main show. So it gets people going, damn, if this is how it is, just a 6-man match, maybe 205 worth watching.
That's another thing too. I really wish they give Tony Nese more.
Oh no, I can already see Tony Nese. I can already see Tony Nese feuding with Austin Aries after this. I can already see it.
Because Tony Nese is
I know he's because he's good. No, Tony Nese, he's good. He's one of the few breakouts from the Cruiserweight class. Mm-hmm. The only here's my people I feel like have some potential after WrestleMania. All this is over. TJ Perkins is dead in the water, so that's
he's done. He needs a gimmick change or return
or something because it didn't help, Matt. It didn't. What killed him for me is when he beat Kota Ibushi. You cannot expect me to honestly believe that Kota Ibushi went through Brian Kendrick, Cedric Alexander, but you was able to beat him.
And then lost
everybody else. Yeah.
Well,
that's my point. And it's like
remember
what?
You gotta remember they was lobbying Kota Ibushi to be with
that might actually be. I just thought something that might actually like resurge TJ Perkins, even though it's a TNA held gimmick. That whole suicide thing worked for TJ obviously Suicide was like 3 different people. Like Suicide was TJ and Christopher Daniels and fucking. But you get a gimmick like that.
He was basically the Doink Clown of TNA, where like you could put anybody under that persona. And it didn't matter as long as you
put him in a gimmick like that. Nobody knows who he really is. Some mysterious, just literally like mental. Like the gimmick is almost like, and I'm gonna reference a video game. It's almost like the fucking ninja from Metal Gear Solid, the cyborg ninja. Forgetting. His name.
I know you're talking about. I forgot his name too. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, Gray Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you use that gimmick where he's unstable, but he's like a real person. But you just complete disregard for his own safety just to get somewhere. That would be a good gimmick for TJ Perkins.
Maybe a dream match. And I feel like the only person that might get this might be Justin. I feel like a dream match might actually be TJ Perkins versus Kamaru Etsy.
It would, but it's like the.
if you get what I mean, don't feel.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know what you mean, but. The issue with TJ Perkins that didn't help matters again, where you had Graham. See, Graham Metalik was a believable character during the Cruiserweight Classic. Mm-hmm. He went through. I think he's the first. He opened the Cruiserweight Classic with his
he actually opened.
Yeah, he opened it, and then when he beat Tajiri, I was like, okay, this guy. So once he beat Tajiri, I realized he could beat Zack Sabre Jr.
I actually was keeping it. I was actually keeping it.
It wasn't believable.
I actually kept a bracket, and
nobody thought
in my bracket.
Those two, TJ Perkins, Graham Metalik, nobody expected them to go to the final. The finals we all thought was going to be Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that was my.
It looked obvious from the beginning, but that didn't happen. But back to the point, Cruiserweight division on Raw at least, I feel like it's just solely just a segue, just to go. It's like it's like okay, this happened at 205 Live. The final happens next, which I guess again it's fine because you're trying to make 205 Live a watchable show. I get that, but at the same time,
the network.
But it's still doesn't. You can't really pull people network if the matches on Raw aren't engaging. It's like when Rich Swann fought Neville for the Cruiserweight title. That was the first match, in my opinion, ever since they first got introduced on Raw. That's like the best match they had on Raw for Cruiserweight. Between then and that, it was always 6-man tags. It was always tag teams with Cruiserweight. That was so annoying before 205 debut. It was just so annoying. It was always just tag teams, whatever. And it's always again. I love Cruiserweight, but I just hope they just. I feel like with Neville, with introduction with Neville and Austin Aries, I feel like there is actually going somewhere now.
Yeah, that's breathing some life into it. My only hope is that because I say when Shinsuke gets called up, that they don't send him there.
Oh no, they won't do that. They'll be stupid.
There were rumors. I really hope not.
Nah, if Shinsuke gets called up, I think he's going to go to SmackDown because I feel like SmackDown might treat him better.
No, not only that. I feel
when we get to SmackDown, I'll tell you my whole theory on what's going to happen there.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about that. So next
I like
segment,
how you are on like the same page here, Craig. Like we got the same.
No, because we get how it should be booked.
How it should be booked completely.
Yeah. So the next segment is before the match between Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens did cut an awesome promo in my opinion.
He's got good mic work, man.
Yeah, he does. No, he always has. It's just because he comes off as a dick. He never breaks kayfabe. He doesn't.
On Twitter, he doesn't break kayfabe.
No, he doesn't.
He'll take shots on Twitter. He'll take shots at little kids at house shows. Like he is what you want in a heel that doesn't break kayfabe. The last person who was really that good that really never broke kayfabe was Triple H.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Triple H barely breaks kayfabe.
Because they're one of those old school wrestlers that just get the business. It's like because we know nowadays everything is just the internet. We all know what happened, but it's like still who cares? It's a show. It's like a 2 hour. It's like Raw and SmackDown are show that us wrestling fans just get to watch great stories and great wrestling. Like we don't need to be like taken out of that with just stuff that like where you know what's gonna happen, like where you knew like Roman Reigns was gonna main event WrestleMania that year or whatever. Like who cares? Let's just enjoy the ride of the story that they're trying to tell.
Right.
They get to that point instead of like, okay, we're already just gonna put it there in the war. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, I know SmackDown. When I first heard about Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles, I was like, fucking retarded. This is fucking retarded. What they've been telling, the story that they've been telling for the past couple weeks got me kind of interested. More interested than what I previously was. It's just, again, it's one of those things like just let them tell the story. But back to this thing. Ken Owens cut from basically how Chris Jericho, I stabbed him in the back basically before he was. Now I'm going to take away the thing. He was, he took away my Universal title, so I'm going to take away his United States title.
And that's actually something that I thought was actually going to happen. Like, for some reason in my head, I was saying to myself, or this whole time, the whole Team KO was going, Chris KO, whatever, Jericho was. Thank you. I'm dead in the water right now. But the whole thing I was thinking out was, okay, who's going to turn on who first? Because part of me was thinking that Jericho was, because you can kind of see that Jericho was dropping hints like, hey. Matter of fact, the last time I said, like, hey, maybe we can have a match at WrestleMania. And Kevin Owens is on the other side, like, hey, what are you doing? I don't want that, and anything like that. So I kind of felt like to me, it was more of a thing of who's going to turn on who first.
If it wasn't for Chris Jericho winning United States title, I would have thought Chris Jericho would have did it as well. If it was for him winning United States title. The second he did, I realized it was going to be Kevin Owens. But again, I think we can all agree we were not expecting the breakup to be as good as we thought it was going to be. Because the Festival of Friendship, that's one, if you see, again, Festival of Friendship, when that happened, we all knew Ken was going to betray Chris Jericho. But it just goes to show us like when you can tell the story right and pull it off just like that, it was amazing.
Well, you have it where the whole crowd is right there with you, like, wow, it's really cool.
The second when Chris Jericho, I always say my brother's there with me too. The second Chris Jericho said, "Why was my name on it?" And you revealed the list. I literally like my heart like just stopped beating for that 1 second.
See, and on
TV, I felt it.
TV, you see it first because you see the back of the thing says the list of KO, and you're like,
briefly. I was like, oh, yeah. And he's like, yeah, why is my name on it? And he looked. It was just so.
Perfect.
It was perfectly executed how that happened. And see, and again, I don't think people disagree with me as much on this. I felt basically with this past year, Kevin Owens Chris Jericho should have been for Universal title at WrestleMania. It should have been.
Should have.
Yeah. I feel like they had the best story going, at least for Raw. They had the best story going on. I mean, I get Goldberg, Brock Lesnar because again,
let's just all remember that this wouldn't have happened if Goldberg wouldn't have been the cover athlete on 2K17.
Exactly.
This all happened because he was on the cover.
So
this is what happens when you pre-order video games, folks.
No,
this is why you don't sad. Pre-order.
I know. When you like that, it's kind of sad when you think about it like that because they really had. At first, it's funny when it first started. Nobody really didn't care about. It's funny how this again with shit when you let stories play out, like if you let them just play out, and it eventually becomes like again. I keep referencing SmackDown. Right on Bray Wyatt. Beginning, did not care nothing about it, but now we finally got to this point, and it's like okay, it worked. You just got to let these stories develop. And it's like sometimes they just never let us develop.
No.
These stories. It's like I personally feel again, I'll get to my WrestleMania thoughts at the end, but I just personally felt like Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho should have made it.
That's why I think was going to happen, but Vince likes money for all the wrong reasons. And he kind of feels like that the big money making will probably be Goldberg and
what happened was this happened 13 years ago. Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania happened 13 years ago when Stone Cold was the ref, and it was rated as one of the worst main events ever.
Yeah. So let's do it again.
It's ironic because it's pretty much the exact same thing is happening because they're both leaving. The only difference is we know Brock Lesnar's still under contract, so he's only kayfabe leaving. But Goldberg is leaving after this. So it's like ironically the same thing is happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Almost it's pretty much the same thing is happening again. They're both going to be going after WrestleMania. I mean, the only difference is Brock Lesnar is going to have the Universal title with him. That's going to be the only difference. And the thing is, I don't think the match is going to be as long. That's why I have so many matches on the card because again, it's like Fastlane. It's not going to be as long as people think it's going to be. But back to
it's not because he's going to get so winded. Actually, me and my friends are actually going to having a bet now. Like we're trying to come up with something now. Who's going to get winded first?
Yeah.
It's going to be Goldberg. Goldberg.
Goldberg. Goldberg was sweating after cutting a promo and taking one F5.
That is true. But the fact of the matter is that we all know that Lesnar is put down to doing suplexes because he can't really do. I mean, yeah, I think the last full match he actually did like a good sizable match was with Taker in that cage match.
Oh, that Hell in a Cell match was like. That was my match of the year in 2015.
But at the same time, it's like the man does get winded easily. So it's kind of like, who's going to get winded first? Is it going to be Goldberg? Is it going to be Lesnar?
My money's on Goldberg.
It is.
I think so too.
Yeah, it is. No, it definitely is. But moving on, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho and Sami Zayn.
But that was a good match, by the way.
Yeah, the match was perfectly fine. I just hate how. I mean, to be fair, I get why he did this ending. Because they didn't want to make either person look like you can't make Samoa Joe look weak because he's on a roll right now. He just came up, he's on a roll right now, and it's like you can't really make Chris Jericho lose or pin because he's United States champion. Don't make him look weak. Sami Zayn is like
poor guy's getting buried.
Yeah.
He was going to receive a push when Rollins went down.
Since Seth Rollins is back now, yeah, it's like. The rumor, you see, the rumored match, I guess, is not going to happen now because only 2 weeks left. I doubt they're going to do it. The rumored match was supposed to be Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania. But with so many matches already on the card, I don't think it's actually going to happen.
Yeah, you can't. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to see Finn on a WrestleMania card. Yeah. But it's like you're just gonna throw
storyline. It just doesn't make any. Why put him on the show? Why put him on the show?
You got to remember when he left, he was feuding with Rollins, and it doesn't make sense just to bring him back and to
just
go
a random match. I know with Samoa. I know it wouldn't make sense for him. It's funny because the roles are probably going to be reversed. Finn Balor would be the heel, and Seth Rollins would be the face. So it's kind of interesting how the rules.
There's a lot that they can do.
With that story, yeah.
With post WrestleMania, even going into WrestleMania, it just really depends when they're going to pull Balor back up to the main show. Because remember at a house show, if you saw this, the house show again,
it was a 6-man tag.
Triple H, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens versus Zayn, Jericho, and Balor. So
that could spark tension. I mean, well, again, the rumor is apparently there might be a stable coming in between like Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
I heard that
new evolution.
Yeah, the new evolution, which I can see happening. I guess.
And this is how they're hinting at it too. Is you got Triple H wearing suits all the time. Now recently,
Samoa Joe
and KO have been wearing suits a lot.
And then
but if you remember, the old evolution, they were wearing suits. Flair wore
suits. I can see that happening. I can definitely see that happening.
Did you hear the fourth guy? Did you hear about the fourth guy they might have to it? Yeah, it's just a rumor.
Peter Dunne.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing.
It's perfect. I actually watched him on NXT. And he's very good. The bruiserweight.
Yeah, is that man?
Oh yeah. His man.
I heard it's between him or they're gonna call up the Revival.
The Revival would be perfect.
The Revival, it's a perfect way to introduce him to the main roster because their gimmick, the Just Fist Brawler type gimmick, is not going to work on its own. They need to be carried in a stable for a while.
Yeah, but I feel like it's the same thing. The same issue with the Vaudevillains, the Ascension, and Tyler Breeze. The casual fan won't get their gimmick.
No,
they won't. Because Tyler Breeze, again, I always say this: Tyler Breeze, at this point in time, he should have been Intercontinental Champion at this point.
Yep,
he should have.
But it goes to show you can have all the promise in the world in NXT. You get called up to the main roster, and nothing happens.
Done. Like the Ascension, you would never have known it was the longest reigning NXT Tag Champion. You would have never known that.
No, and then of course,
I would have thought you'd been lying. I know. I would have thought you'd been lying.
Got a wellness violation, wellness policy violation.
And like the Vaudevillains, they were. All these people that were so good at NXT,
so promising, they get buried.
And it's like they're nobodies now. And it's like, I mean, to be fair, Tyler Breeze, I guess he's doing something even the Fashion Police, but it's like the Ascension.
Not really. That whole Brizongo Fashion Police thing ain't working. The rule is 1 out of every 5 call-ups will work.
I know. And it's just sad. It's just Tyler Breeze. He is so good because somebody recorded a match. It was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Tyler Breeze. Oh my god, that match was so good.
Yeah, that match was good. I know that match. It was like one of the NXT house shows, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was so good. It's like what? Just let Tyler Breeze go on. I think what killed Tyler Breeze is the second Dolph Ziggler said, "You're basically me." That's what killed him.
Yeah,
they went open their eyes and was like, "Oh crap, they really."
That's the same thing with the Ascension when people kept referencing it. It killed them.
Actually, I think what killed this, in my opinion, what killed the Ascension was how they were trying to say they were a better tag team than most of all these tag teams. And then
which would have worked if the Legends wouldn't bury them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Legends was like, let me tell you something real quick.
They were just dead and just again, this is Smackdown shit. So let's just get back.
Before that, I actually, if we can get to it later, I do have some. There is something good that came out from the Ascension, and sorry, that's my ringtone. There is something good that came out with the Ascension and Tyler Breeze.
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about
that also happened.
Southpaw Wrestling.
Yeah, it also happened on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Southpaw Wrestling. That's probably the best thing I've seen.
But,
wait, go ahead.
I was gonna get back to KO and Joe versus Zayn and Owen. So you got a lot of good wrestlers in there. Those guys work their ass off. You know, and it goes to show you could be a good technical wrestler and not have to be like in good shape. Because Joe and Owen just make that case so much. They're good technical wrestlers. These guys are not really in shape. But
they have the experience too. How many years experience they've been doing this?
Oh, dude, Joe, you're talking 18 years. KO made his rounds in the Indies a whole lot. Same with Zayn. You know, these guys are. So, anyways, I see why they did the double, or the DQ ending, not the double DQ, but the DQ ending, which basically, like, if nobody really saw it.
What was it? Same thing. He's not really injured. Or did he get injured that? Did he get injured that night, but he's not completely injured?
I think it was more of like kayfabe injury.
Yeah,
because the way.
Because Sami Zayn sells perfect. I have to understand. Sami Zayn's probably the best seller now.
Yeah, but so sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. But it's just like the way they ended that match kind of looked like one of those things of an emergency ending. Like, oh shit, he's hurt.
So I'll tell you right now, if you don't know if somebody's really hurt or they're just kayfabe hurt, the rest will put up a signal if he's really hurt.
I
saw this during when Enzo got knocked out.
Paige,
I turned away. I turned away a couple of times from that, but it's like the way that ending kind of just seemed a little.
Yeah. So the way you can tell if it's a real injury or if it's a kayfabe injury, the ref will put up an X above his head if it's a real injury. He'll do this.
Yeah.
To let the medical crew know, get the fuck down here. He's really hurt. They'll do the X above their head. So then that's like, okay, medical crew, get on here. We got a problem.
Maybe Sami Zayn is that good because I legit thought like, wait, did he hurt his knee? Like,
Sami Zayn is very good at selling heat.
Yeah, he is the best seller right now.
He sells it. But it ended in a DQ. Because Samoa Joe was pounding away on Sami Zayn, just throwing punches at him. And Kevin Owens tries to get in there, throws a few. Ref tries to put him back in the corner. He doesn't want to go. Starts to walk back. Starts beating up Zayn again. Ref gives him another warning. He starts walking back and then attacks Zayn again. Ref rings the bell. I get it. You don't want to have anyone go over really before Mania.
WrestleMania because it will make them look weak. Yeah, I get that. So they did. I was only possibility of them doing it.
Yeah, they do it that way because you don't want to make Jericho look weak and have Joe and KO go over. Again, you don't want to make Zayn look weak either.
Despite him not even being on the show.
Well, at the same time, so who is Sami Zayn? I feel like Sami Zayn might be in the Andre the Giant.
He is. They're gonna put him in there, sadly.
Because I really don't. Because the only thing I see Joe in, he's
gonna be in the program with Triple H. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see that happening. But
that's gonna happen.
Yeah. As far as Zayn, I'm like, what is he gonna do? I hope he don't hope he's not a backstage segment. With
No, he's gonna be Andre the Giant Warrior Battle Royal. Sadly. And that's
there is no Intercontinental ladder match this WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know, and that's my issue with this. And that's my issue. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg didn't need the title. What they could have done and made Jericho and Owens for the Universal title. And they could have put the United States title on Sami Zayn.
Exactly.
That's my point. And that's the issue. And it's like when you have this situation with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, it's like they didn't need the title to sell this match. The match itself was going to sell.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania, they didn't need the title for it. They didn't. But it's like now, since you have the title on them, they had to make Jericho and Owen for some type of title. So, and now it just leaves Zayn out the water.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, what can you do?
Hey, how long is WrestleMania going to be? 4 hours?
4 hours, yeah. Well, 7 hours if you count the pre-show. So I think it's going to be at least 3 matches on the pre-show.
No, I think the main card's going to be 5. Pre-show's going to be 2 hours.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So you're gonna have a total of about 7 hours.
Hours of wrestling, which I mean, I sat through WrestleMania 32, so
yeah,
the only thing that made
I can sit there. The
only thing that made 32 interesting for me was that I was with friends, and it was at a point we was like, all right, we're going to stop playing this and play Fireball Wrestling.
The only thing that sold WrestleMania for me in general was Undertaker versus Shane. Despite how the match went prior to that, that's the only match that sold me anyway. That's the reason why I sat through it. I mean, at the end of the day, the only good match that really came out, in my opinion, was the women's triple threat. All the other matches was like underwhelming in my. I mean, the show opened strong, the Intercontinental title, but after that, I don't.
Yeah.
Besides the women's match, everything else
you had Ryder win it and then drop it the next day. It's like such a slap in the face. He's such a good wrestler, and they.
To be fair, if it wasn't for that, Miz would not be in his position right now. So at least something good came out of that.
They could have waited a little bit, not the.
I know, I know they could have done differently, but if it wasn't for that heat that the Miz got, and if that did not reintroduce Maurice, the Miz would not be in his position right now.
Yeah. True.
So it had to happen some way. I mean, dude, to be fair, but people don't understand, Zack Ryder. The only reason why Zack Ryder won the title is because Neville wasn't in it. He got replaced at the last second because Neville was originally supposed to be in that match, but since he got injured, Zack Ryder. That was the only reason why Zack Ryder was in that match.
For all of that, you might as well just had the Miz win
at WrestleMania.
And anything instead of, I mean, his father was there. That's the one thing. His father, who looks
nobody but Ryan. You have to understand that's how it worked. How is he supposed to get heat on the Miz? Because before that, Miz was like he was a heel, but he wasn't as good a heel as he was now. If it wasn't for him,
he was fading.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him beating, not only that, if it wasn't for Maurice interfering as well, again, we would not be seeing the Miz that we have right now. So again, it had to happen on Zack Ryder's expense, but
it's not necessarily on Zack Ryder's expense. I just feel like The next night was way too soon. I feel like they should have wait for
until like the pay-per-view, until like
like build it up a little more better than be like, oh, okay, so hey, I just won this belt. Really, I'm about to win for me right now. Like that kind of thing. Like, how you feel backstage where you're coming, you wake up in the morning, you're doing your press, whatever, and then you get told by producers or somebody like, listen, you're dropping the belt to the list.
Again, Ron, this is again SmackDown, so we're just gonna go right into
quick little segue right here because I just decided to look at some numbers right now. WWE, it is now announced from ringsidenews.com, just broke today, broke it 2 hours ago, so a little bit before we started. Obviously, we went over Xavier Woods being in a certain video clip with Paige. Yeah. It has now been confirmed New Day will not be appearing on Raw this Monday.
Oh, it's obvious. I was expecting that. That would have been suicide for them because it's in Brooklyn. It was any other crowd. It was any other crowd. It would have been okay. They could have been a backstage. They can't appear at all.
With that said, now they have to show up on Raw on Monday. So it's kind of like, are we going to take our ass whooping in Brooklyn, or are we going to take our ass whooping in Philly?
They're going to wait till WrestleMania.
I think they're keep them off in general. They're going to leave them off until WrestleMania just to let everything die. It might. I said 2 weeks it should die out. Not for Paige, but for Xavier Woods at least, it's going to die out.
I hope so.
Because what's going to happen within that 2 weeks? You're going to have some legal action happen where it's going to end up. It's going to get taken down. So because first of all, that's invasion of privacy, and whoever shares that is going to get hit with something. They're going to have to take it down.
So they're just hoping in 2 weeks.
So they're just hoping that happens in the next 2 weeks from Paige's lawyers
or unless it doesn't die down unless Paige has another video we're not aware of.
Well, like I said, lucky for me, I already saved the videos.
Of course you did.
All right, so.
Moving on. I mean, like, do we really have to talk about, speaking of New Day, do we have to talk about the New Day segment with the Big Show?
Do we have to talk about the New Day segment with Big Show?
The only
to the whole thing, I mean, the whole New Day talks thing, I think that was literally just thrown in there to squash Titus even more. So ever since Titus got suspended for playfully messing with Vince McMahon during Daniel Bryan's retirement.
I know, retirement speech, yeah.
It kind of started as a playful gesture. Vince McMahon took it the wrong way. 60-day suspension. Titus is getting squashed. And the whole thing with him and New Day, I don't really see how that was supposed to work at all.
I feel like the only purpose of this segment was just to confirm the fact that Big Show and Shaq wasn't happening.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah, this was the only purpose of this segment. That's why I said
which kind of sucks because they built that last WrestleMania
for the whole year. They kind of built it for almost a whole year, not on TV. But Big Show was promoting on his.
Shaq ends up being
and I remember you saying you saying that last week that if they don't do something on Raw Monday.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah, no, that's what I said. I was like, they have to do something this week. Otherwise, nothing's going to come out of this. No,
they're not going to do it because Shaq is asking for too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So we're just going to, we skim over that. It wasn't really nothing important. So next up is the Raw #1 contenders match between Enzo and Cass and Cesaro and Sheamus.
And I already knew that was what what was going to happen was going to happen, and I'm hoping. What I'm hoping is that this WrestleMania doesn't fall with the same thing as WrestleMania 2000, where every match seems like it's a multi-man match.
Again, I'm saying this also stems from the fact with whole Goldberg and Brock Lesnar situation. Had Goldberg and Brock Lesnar not be main eventing WrestleMania, what we would have gotten instead would have been Enzo and Cass versus the club, and then we got Cesaro versus Sheamus one-on-one, because I can already see Cesaro Sheamus breaking up eventually, and I already in my head pictured Enzo and Cass becoming the Raw Tag Team Champions by beating the club.
Well, anyway. That was going to happen
eventually. Yeah, I already knew that was going to happen. It
was going to happen until Enzo caught that concussion, because they were getting their push right there.
I know, that's my
concussion.
Yeah, That's my point. I think this is eventually going to happen. You know, the reason why Cesaro and Sheamus is on here because they deserve to be on WrestleMania anyway. They did not deserve to be in Andre Giant Warrior Battle Royal. So I can understand why they put Cesaro and Sheamus on it. You know, I know they're not going to win. I already see Enzo and Cass winning, which makes up a great. Now, this is my theory. It makes up a great storyline aspect. Because if Enzo and Cass wins, when Balor comes back and betrays them, and attacks them and forms Balor Club, which just again, this is just my theory. It makes a great story because in NXT, Enzo and then they were all friends. So it's gonna be why did Balor do they didn't say why Balor or why. So I feel like that is gonna be a great opportunity for that to happen.
I can see that actually happening.
Even if Balor Club even happens. So that's just
we can only hope for some reincarnation of the club. Because they got
I feel here's just my theory. I feel like it was gonna happen. Because otherwise, there was no way they would have gave Gallus and Anderson 2 tag title matches back to back. If they did not plan on forming the Balor Club after SummerSlam, because it made no sense giving 2 title matches back to back.
Yeah, they're gonna do something.
Although you gotta admit how hype you was when you saw the clubs there with AJ and
that was the best part of SummerSlam.
The crowd.
Yeah,
that part was so hype.
Everybody showed up. So if AJ actually does go to Raw, you see, well, again, I guess I
feel like we need to save this till the end.
Yeah.
This whole talk that I know you're about to get into, I think needs to be saved till the end of the Smackdown talk, and we'll
that is true.
Revisit.
So the next thing is So the next thing after that was Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. I'm surprised they gave Jinder Mahal the time of day in this match. I'm surprised.
They made Jinder look pretty strong, actually.
They've been making Jinder Mahal strong for the past 2 weeks. They've been making.
It's not hard to make Jinder Mahal look strong with all the steroids that man.
Right? He comes out looking super vascular.
It looks like he's about to bust at any second. He literally is.
That dude is Ico Pro powder. Okay.
Yeah, because they did the same thing with him versus Cesaro at Fastlane. They actually gave him time. If you give him time, he can actually put on a decent match.
Oh yeah, Jinder Mahal. I've actually seen when he was gone. He actually did some indie shows, whatever. He can actually put on a good match and everything. So he's actually. Well,
let's not forget. Before this match happened, you had Reigns cut a promo. Calling out the Undertaker, and of course, there's about 30 seconds of silence, and then of course Shawn Michaels.
They go show up, yeah.
Oh Jesus
Shawn
Christ!
Michaels shows up basically saying
to
"You're
me,
making the same mistakes I did, buddy."
Yeah, and
you don't know who you're calling out.
The best thing to come out of that whole segment was just at the very end, because now we got the grief of Braun Strowman.
Oh my
Roman
God!
Reigns. It was amazing. Because
that was a straight body check, and he rolls all the way down the ramp, pretty much.
He literally, he slid at the second he slid from over the ramp. I was laughing my ass off. It was like, God damn, that impact. It was just that was the best. That was the best part of the whole thing.
Oh God,
again, I'll leave my thoughts about the Roman Reigns Undertaker match at the end, but it's like again, that was
the only thing I could think of when he was laying between the ramp and the barricade. All I could hear in my head was, "Oh, he needs some milk."
Oh my God! So moving on.
He didn't mean to land between the ramp and the barricade, but it's just ooh, that's a rough landing at the end.
Yeah. So again, moving on.
It's good for HBK to come out. You got a nice pop of him coming out. It almost seems like he's trying to pass the torch, and of course, Roman being cocky Roman that he is, he's Undertaker retired you, and I'm going to retire Undertaker.
The only thing this reminds me of is WrestleMania 31 with Brock Lesnar, the build between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, when all these people trying to give endorsement to Roman Reigns, and it's and you're doing the same thing, and that it's not going to work, dude. Yeah. If they honestly believe in their heart that Roman Reigns can get a different reaction to what we all going to think at WrestleMania, and it's the only way I see them come out this alive, this turns Roman Reigns fully heel, because he's gonna be a heel anyway in this match.
He has to be the heel of the match.
No, he has to become heel. Period. At the end, there's no way he's gonna come out of this alive. He's the second person ever to beat Undertaker at WrestleMania. How do you think this is gonna work out for him? Because again, Brock Lesnar, despite what people think, he's a heel at the end of the day. Brock Lesnar's a heel because you can't go. You can't go face had to be Undertaker. You're the only person to be Undertaker WrestleMania. So Brock Lesnar has since always been a heel despite his crowd reactions. Roman Reigns, you're not going to come back after this. We already like. There's no way.
It needs to happen, and they tried to play it off like they were turning him heel at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Which I get their reasoning behind it. How are you going to make everybody boo Roman Reigns at once is when you have this build-up thinking you're going to have one of the greatest number 30 entrances, and it's Roman Reigns. I get why they did that. You're like, okay, how do you get everyone in the arena to subsequently boo him when you're thinking that number 30 could have been anyone from Kurt Angle to fucking Kenny Omega.
Even Samoa Joe.
Yeah, even Samoa Joe. You know, you could have had.
Did y'all see that video or like everyone's reaction?
Yeah, I seen. Yeah, it was everybody. That was everybody's reaction. It's like, are you serious?
Like,
I mean,
that was pretty much my reaction.
I mean, again, you can't. I mean, you have to give the WWE. They know how to get a reaction out of people. It's like they know how to get the exact reaction they want to get out of people. Because the only reason Roman Reigns was in that match, because they wanted them to cheer Randy Orton instead. Had Roman Reigns not been in that match, Randy Orton would have got booed if he would have won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Had he not. And here's the interesting stat, which people don't realize. When Randy Orton eliminated Roman Reigns, Evolution are the only people who eliminate Roman Reigns during the Royal Rumble match. Batista, Triple H, and Randy Orton, they're the only people to eliminate Roman Reigns. Nobody else is able to eliminate him.
I'm kind of still salty at the Royal Rumble because there weren't as many surprises as the year before.
No,
the only surprise wasn't even a surprise was Ty Dillinger because
everybody knew he was coming in
because if he wasn't number 10, it would have been it would have been the biggest travesty of the whole night. He wasn't number 10.
The greatest pop entrance of that whole thing. Like, the year before, man, they did a lot of people. Like, they pulled out a lot of stops for surprise entrance. But this year, it's just like Ty Dillinger, like, we knew he was coming.
Well, because to be fair, because I feel like that they felt like that was the only one that they really needed was Ty Dillinger. 10, it just made perfect sense.
Yeah.
For them. But moving on, Austin Aries versus Avaria Daivari. Again, this just pretty much segued into the fact that Austin Aries can compete in the Fatal 5-Way match on 205 Live.
Austin Aries, just amazing technician. Amazing ring.
I'm just glad Austin Aries is actually getting the proper time. I mean, they're actually building him up. I personally thought that once he got put up to the main roster, they weren't really going to do much with him. I'm glad.
I thought he was going to get buried, but it was a good move putting him on 205 Live.
Yeah, that's what I said. At first, when I heard he was going cruiserweight division, like, oh, come on, he deserves better. But then it's like, no, this is good because otherwise he would just be jobbing to Roman Reigns every week. I already saw it happen.
And then last week, putting him straight up to that main card of the cruiserweight division by decking Neville was like
the perfect thing.
You do things right when the crowd pops as loud as it did when Aries attacked Neville.
And then again, it's a good thing because again, this whole time he's been treated as a commentator, so it's like they're doing something right here. Because think about it, the whole story is Neville literally went through every single person's division who was going to stop him. The one person that you never actually fought before. So it's a perfect story. Again, we're just going to skip over Big Show versus Titus O'Neil.
That was a squash match.
That match also just really helped the fact of, hey, buy the new movie. Me and the Judsons.
Yeah, Robo WrestleMania.
That's my point. There's nothing. Again, I skip over. Yeah, I'm not going to review stuff that has no. Like, there has no meaning to it.
That was a squash match.
Other than the fact that we know Big Show, again, it only accomplishes two things. We know Big Show's going to be the Andre John Murray Battle Royal match. He's going to be in that match, and Shaq and Big Show's not happening. So that was the only redeeming fact. That was the only.
Shaq and Big Show's not happening. Yeah. Titus is still getting squashed, no matter who he faces. Big Show. They just trot Big Show out there every now and then and be like, oh, look how much work he's put in. Oh, yeah, by the way, he's not going to face Shaq because Shaq is a money-grubbing little
bit. So next we have Bayley versus Nia Jax. Now, the key thing to note here, and I feel like they should play this off. Besides the one time that Bayley beat Nia Jax has conquered Bayley every single match they've been putting her into.
I think that this was more of a build because there's still rumors swirling out there that it's not going to be
a fatal four-way.
It's going to be a fatal four-way,
which it should,
it totally should.
Nia Jax does get Nia. She's been putting in the work to deserve to be in that spot.
She does. She can definitely use some promo work, but
probably with Alicia Fox. Fuck it, might as well. They're the only divas on. They're the only divas on. The only women left on here. So
I get it. They really want because that's how it was this week. Nia went up to Stephanie. Is like, I want a match. It's not fair that I'm not part of this. championship talk, blah, blah, blah. And Stephanie goes, yeah, you know what? You should be. So I think these next couple of weeks, we're going to see a lot more of Nia, and we're going to end up with a fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania between Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, and Nia. Because right now you have 2 faces versus 1 heel. What do you think is going to happen? Either, they're going to complete that Sasha turn at WrestleMania, but they don't want it to be so apparent, so they're going to throw Nia in there so it looks like 2 faces versus 2 heels.
And I feel like what's going to come in after this is this might turn Charlotte face somehow. So then we'll have new feuds. We'll have Bayley versus Sasha, and then we have Charlotte versus Nia. Because then where will Charlotte go after this? Besides facing Dana, unless Asuka gets called up, which is another story. Where
Asuka's going to sit there for a while.
Yeah, because
she's going to sit there for a while.
They need her. Yeah, they need her down there.
I mean,
they need her, but for some reason, let's keep talking about Raw because I was going to say was going to keep going right back into SmackDown.
It's a better show. I mean,
they're not. SmackDown's a better show.
SmackDown is just killing Raw ratings with 1 less hour.
It's like every time you talking about something, yeah, but on SmackDown, oh god.
Because again, interesting to note, people tend to forget the SmackDown writer is the same writer in NXT. Mm-hmm. He was writing for NXT, so it's like that's why.
Because one of those writers for SmackDown is Road Dogg.
Yeah,
Road Dogg is one of the writers, and he is amazing.
He gets it because he's part. He gets it.
He gets it. He does, and it's amazing. But yeah, so Bayley and Nia, I see where that's going. They wanted to build up to that fatal 4-way. Nia is trying to insert herself into the title picture, which eventually she probably will get. Same reason Braun Strowman eventually will get a title placed on his shoulder because, Braun Strowman is the wrecking machine of the men's division.
I can see him becoming United States champion in like a couple months before SummerSlam. He will be United States champion at least.
Yeah, they're going to put titles on both those because that whole kind of gimmick, the big, grimacing, intimidating wrestler is a good thing.
And that's the one thing I do want to point out with the draft. The draft has made so many stars that would not have been possible if the draft did not occurred. A year ago, you even talk about Braun Strowman being.
I will be right back. I have to use the bathroom.
There, go ahead. I'm saying, Ron, it's like if you talk about the draft, you would have never thought Braun Strowman would have been the main eventer at this point.
No, if anything, I'm actually
nobody would have thought that.
Glad because the fact that Braun Strowman is actually the man can. Listen, don't let the TV because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, he's just another big person." Listen, I've seen and you've seen some of it with him versus the Big Show of all people, but in the house shows, that man can move.
Oh yeah, of course.
The man's like what?
His match with Big Show was fucking amazing.
He's like what 6'8", 6'7", doing nip ups.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like when he did, I was like, "Holy shit, dude!"
Yeah, I mean, it didn't surprise me then, but I've seen it before. Because I saw like a house show with him. He was wrestling. I think he was wrestling the Big Show, but that match was actually good because he's sitting here wrestling him. I'm just like,
well, because at the time, was he still part of the Wyatt family at the time? Or this was
this was a Raw
after the draft.
Yeah, after the draft. This is like way after the draft.
Okay. Well, because again, at the time they wanted to build up Braun. They didn't want to show Braun Strowman can actually wrestle a match, but they wanted to show that Braun Strowman can bury people in second. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted to portray at the time. So I can understand why they didn't want to reveal that how Braun Strowman can actually wrestle. At the time, they were just trying to market Braun Strowman as this monster who could beat somebody in seconds. So I can understand why they did that. But yeah, again, the draft. I was pretty much just saying the draft was just pretty much a godsend. There's so many superstars. Again, the Miz would have never had the spotlight he has now. Braun Strowman has the spotlight he has now. I don't think Kevin Owens would never been a world champion if it wasn't for the draft.
No way.
There would have been again. Yeah, none of these superstars like AJ Styles. Again, AJ Styles would have never been WWE champion if it wasn't.
AJ Styles just had like the best year.
It's like the most I've seen after Extreme Rules after AJ Styles. If it wasn't for the draft, after his feud with John Cena, he would have been probably an Intercontinental champion, which would have been fine. But if it wasn't for the draft, I don't think AJ Styles would have never been world champion. It gave so many people opportunities, and it just worked for him.
Yeah.
But moving on to the last segment of the show.
That finish. Oh my goodness.
Yes. So Mick Foley is Stephanie McMahon. Something. So throughout the whole show, the whole purpose of this promo was just Stephanie McMahon asking Foley to fire somebody, just show that
because it'll help him grow as a GM,
general manager. So this whole time we saw Mick Foley backstage, he was talking to people like General Hall, and then he was talking.
Well, and he was in like a pissy mood the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time they were just showing that. So at the end, during the same man asked you, did you find somebody who deserves to be fired? He's like, yes, you. And then he cuts one of those good Mick Foley promos that he's been cutting for the past couple months. And like it's like when Mick Foley's passionate about something, he can actually cut a good promo.
Yes, he can.
Oh, yeah. So then that happened, and the second he referenced Triple H, I was like, I already know where this is going. I'm liking this. The second he referenced Triple H, and sure enough, Triple H came out, and then he was like, no, Triple H made a joke, but it's funny. He was like, I'm not hard to find.
Well, and first, like that kind of culminated from like Mick Foley being like, Stephanie, I know you had Triple H interfere, and like
I know Seth Rollins match,
I know what kind of shady person you and Triple H are. You guys walk around here, and Stephanie, you were playing like you didn't know, but you really did. And then of course, then Triple H comes out and just cuts one of the most wicked promos, just basically treating Foley like a beaten dog. Literally telling him to leave the ring with his job and his tail between his legs.
He told Foley. He literally told Foley, if somebody tells you to jump, you jump, monkey.
Yeah.
That was so good. That was so good. So then before when Triple H said man thought Mick Foley left, Triple H went to him. He was like, yo, why didn't you leave? And Foley obviously did the mandible claw. Haven't seen that in a while.
Right, just
pulls out low blowed him. Yeah, and then Same Man low blowed him. So that was that. I knew Mick Foley really couldn't get physical because he just got surgery. So I knew they weren't gonna do much.
He still needs surgery.
Oh yeah.
Hip surgery. He needs a hip replacement.
So before Triple H could do anything, we heard Seth Rollins music. We see Seth Rollins come out
limping,
and the Triple H said, he's not gonna do anything. And then Seth Rollins just stares at Triple H. He smiles. He lifts up his crutch, and then he drops it to the ground. The crowd went insane. And then he takes off his shirt and it says Kingslayer. And the Triple H like, oh shit. And then
by the way, my friend immediately bought that shirt on pre-order.
Oh, it's a good shirt. Yeah, I do like the term Kingslayer. I actually do like that. And then they had back for between Triple H and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, they would take Triple H out the ring. Triple H knows that the crutch was right there. Seth Rollins used, so he got back into the ring. And then eventually Triple H had the upper hand with Seth Rollins. He kept hitting him in the knee, and the segment pretty much just ended with Triple H standing tall over Seth Rollins. Now, what are your thoughts on this?
I think doubling up on the promo at the end of the show was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It really adds a lot of heat because, as we know, Mick Foley is on his way out.
Yeah,
it's been building. Everybody knows he needs his hip replacement surgery, and he's going to be out for a while. So they need something to build up heat towards him. So Stephanie's going to fire him, and this was the perfect first step. I don't think a lot of people expected the Triple H Seth Rollins things to go down.
Yeah.
I think once you knew Triple H came out, that Seth Rollins wasn't far behind. A lot of people thought that injury was a lot worse, and it was a real injury. I went back and looked at the footage of when Samoa Joe pulled Seth Rollins down in the coquina clutch. That knee bent the wrong way.
Yeah, you could tell it went out.
So, and of course, they were talking about earlier in the show, or I don't know if it was earlier in the show or if it was like a week ago that they were talking about the kind of rehab he's going through. He's going through 3-a-day rehabs to try to get to WrestleMania. And, he cut that promo, telling Corey Graves that he's going to do whatever it takes to get to Mania. I missed it last year. I'm not going to miss it again. I think that definitely built up the storyline a lot to really culminate at WrestleMania. And a lot of people didn't expect Rollins to be as healthy as he is right now. Now, is his knee hurt? Probably still to some extent, but, they're really trying to rush his rehab as best they can to just make sure they have that match. Because
they don't want to go another year of promises to be like, oh, well, we got another year for Seth Rollins versus Triple H, something that probably should have happened last year. So it was like, all right, let's take our time with him. Let's make sure he doesn't do any house shows. Let's make sure he rehabs and everything. Because I don't think that. I mean, that he was a significant knee injury, but it wasn't that everybody was like afraid of. Is this knee injury going to be like?
I mean, it was bad enough to keep him off of Fastlane. It just dropped.
Yes, it was bad enough for that, but just enough to, for him to heal enough. And I feel like that this match that might happen is, I won't say it's not going to be long. It's going to go, it's going to go the distance, but I don't think it's going to be too. You're not going to see Seth Rollins doing too much Seth Rollins stuff.
No,
like no jumping off the rope for the knee, no like flippity floppity whatever. It's not going to be. It's not going to be any of that. They're going to take their sweet time with this because they don't want anything to happen to him, especially going into WrestleMania and going after WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah. Now, actually, I do. Before I bring this up, I just want to say after we get through Raw, we're gonna have to. Sadly, because I looked at my clock. Yeah, I do have to go some. Yeah, so we're gonna have to quickly go through SmackDown, NXT, and 205, which won't be an issue. But I just want to bring this up. Yeah, so we have to quickly just breeze through that. So we're just gonna go through the main segments and talk about it. But I just want to get this. But before that, I just want to get to my point with Seth Rollins real quick. With this segment, I personally believe it won't be a match at WrestleMania. And here's the reason why I think that. Despite all this stuff that's happening, they haven't yet to officially announce a match between Triple H and Seth Rollins. All they kept building, what they're doing is smart. They just saying Seth Rollins will be at WrestleMania. And Triple H kept saying if you show up, then whatever. It's just, I personally think the way the storyline going, I don't think it's gonna be a match at WrestleMania.
No.
I don't think it is. Because they would have been marketed it. Despite not even for storyline purposes, just for marketing purposes, a match like Triple H for Seth Rollins that would make WrestleMania itself. I don't think is actually going to be a match at WrestleMania.
We'll have to see how the next couple weeks play out.
Yeah, I mean, because we have 2 weeks left. They announced Roman Reigns versus Undertaker right before Raw went on the air.
One thing to quickly mention, we forgot to talk about it when we were talking about Roman versus Jinder, is that Undertaker's already playing mind games with Roman. During the match, the gong went off and distracted Roman.
So I guess I can play the whole storyline. Him just
totally. Great finish. Amazing way to finish Raw. Like I said, one of the best finishes I've seen in the past 6 months.
Hopefully, this week's tops it with this week. Like I feel like this week is gonna either confirm my theory or not that Triple H Seth Rollins match is gonna happen.
We'll see how the next week or so plays out.
Yeah, this is gonna play out. I highly doubt they will announce it the last Raw before WrestleMania. That makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm. So
it has to be this week. Yes, let's go to SmackDown real quick. So we're hit through the main bullet points. SmackDown, only the stuff that really goes into WrestleMania. So first thing to open, AJ Styles. AJ Styles came out. He basically said, "Hey, I've been screwed over this whole time. I went through the Elimination Chamber. I went through a triple threat match. I never got my one-on-one rematch for the WWE title. And then I went through a battle royal. I won it. I beat Luke Harper. I won it. And then Randy Orton just says he wants his shot at WrestleMania. He gave it up. And then he beats me. But he just went through all this crap, and now Randy Orton just took his spot, so he's pissed.
Yeah, Randy Orton gave up his spot, but burns down Bray Wyatt's house.
And then, he
gets his spot back.
So he's pissed. So he said he wants to see Shane McMahon, and he's like, what? Even if it's undo his career. I mean, I forgot the exact word. He said, he said, I'm going to talk to Shane McMahon about my career. And then so we'll leave, and we'll get to that point when we get to that segment that happened. So, I mean, your thoughts on it, Ron? What do you think about it?
I knew this was going to happen from the start. Ever since for some reason, like one of the Talking Smack episodes, when the back and forth of AJ, and it was actually the one time when AJ was going back and forth with Shane. I kind of knew if I didn't there, I'm like, if they're not going to do a triple threat, this is going to be another
match or
thing with Shane, and him, and it's like. A lot of people keep saying, no, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. I feel like that the match will be good because Shane's going to do what Shane does, okay? Especially now. Oh, we haven't talked about it, but what happened with Shane. Shane's going to do what Shane does, but I feel like that is going to be a lot better because not saying that the Undertaker's not safe, but AJ Styles might be safer, and they're not going to do no.
Well, see, AJ Styles can wrestle. AJ Styles can wrestle with a mop, and it'll still be good.
Yeah, but it's more the fact that I'm more worried about the.
You can wrestle. You can wrestle with Perry Saturn's prop.
And it'll still be a 5-star match.
Triple H has also said that he can wrestle a broom. So
yeah,
I'm just saying the fact that
I do get your point though.
Yeah, like AJ will be safer. I'm saying that Taker's not safe because Taker could be safe, but the environment that they were in last year's WrestleMania Hell in a Cell, I'm pretty sure Shane's not going to be doing no Hell in a Cell, especially after Survivor Series where he caught the concussion. So,
when Roman speared him, out of his shoes, basically,
So he's not going to do anything too dangerous, but it's going to be there's going to be a nice match, and I feel like as long as
AJ can really control a match. I mean, he basically kept James Ellsworth from breaking his fucking neck.
Exactly. Yeah, I always remember that. Yeah, he saved his life. That's how. Because it's like I don't know how the hell he reacted that quick. Like he saw his head. He's like,
because it's happened before.
And he was like, "Yeah, I know."
He's broke a couple necks before. Shit. So
and that's why he landed the way he landed. Yep. And I mean, see AJ Styles, again. You have to give AJ Styles. He knows.
He knows exactly what he's doing. So I feel like that this match, everybody is looking down on this match. Oh, yeah. I mean, yes, AJ Styles should have been the main event, in my opinion. Yes. But given what he's going up against, will escalate him more. And I feel like coming up the next WrestleMania, he's definitely going to be main event, in my opinion.
I mean, to be fair, with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar taking the spotlight, I'd rather have it this way because the AJ Styles match would have been overshadowed anyway. With the match that we have anyway. So I feel like if this is the case, I'd rather AJ Styles be in a match like this. It was going to be overshadowed by Brock Lesnar and then Roman Reigns. It would have been overshadowed. So, but moving on. Becky Lynch versus Natalia. Not much really happened here.
This was more of just a build. making sure that
WrestleMania.
It's every female versus themselves. Versus every other female.
So that Carmella. They showed Carmella's going to be in the match.
I have a quick question about this. Do y'all think that if y'all heard like the small little rumor or whatever, do y'all think that Eva Marie is going to come back?
Oh yeah, hands down. That's exactly what it's for. I'll be shocked if it wasn't for this. Because now the more I think about it, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Yeah, this is brilliant. I feel like WWE. No, because I feel like personally, I just want to get this out the way. I know I think be wrestling. I feel like when WWE. When they first tried to even character on SmackDown, it was the best thing ever. But when she got suspended, they was like, okay, when we bring her back, how are we going to handle the situation? And they thought about it, fuck it. We're just gonna keep her off of TV until WrestleMania. And what better way to make her the biggest heel on the roster than make her win a WrestleMania by doing absolutely nothing? This is brilliant.
Yep.
This her being suspended was like a godsend to WWE. They was probably gonna figure out how the hell you're supposed to keep this up until WrestleMania. They didn't have to. It's a godsend for them. If anything, but if Eva Marie does not show up to WrestleMania, I'll be legitimately shocked. I feel like this is the whole point of the match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because they did say every available
female roster. The second they said that, I was like, "It's Eva Marie. It's Eva Marie."
I feel like that. I feel like for some reason that this is when, because I think Witchcom is doing better.
What?
What's her face? Why am I about to call her Trinity? That's a real name. Naomi. Damn it, Total Divas. So I feel like she's actually getting better. I follow her on Twitter, and I've seen that she's actually getting somewhat better.
I'm not going to deny that Naomi's going to be part of the match, but I don't think she's going to win. I don't think she's going to. To be fair, what I find strange is that they never actually announced what the match is. It's just a multi-man match. We don't know if it's an over-the-top battle royal or it's like a eliminations, like a pinfall.
But that's all this was leading to, was just making the whole women's division against everybody. And of course,
and actually giving them something to do.
She won via submission.
Yeah.
Via disarm.
Becky Lynch. So yeah, well, I'm glad Becky Lynch won, because her getting screwed over in tag team match the previous week didn't make her really look good anyway. So it's like, I'm glad she won that. But again, moving on, the Miz TV with the exposed Johnson, Nikki Bella.
His mic work is just Miz has really good mic work. His heel mic work is so good.
Does when Cena and Miz talk, does it hit your hair? Sometimes?
Man, this is how good that whole Miz TV section just blurred the lines of kayfabe so much, because if you pay attention at all to Total Divas, like, you know that what Maurice was talking about, that was true.
Absolutely true. Yeah, no,
that was true.
And they really blurred the lines. They were really friends. Nikki really screwed Maurice out of a contract with Total Divas. You know,
they
blurred the lines very, very well.
The past couple of times, like between the first Talking Smack with Cena was on there, and Cena just dropped his little bomb or everything like that, to the Total Divas afterwards. I mean, not the Total Divas, the Talking Smack afterwards when Miz was on there after that thing. I don't know if you saw that, but he said his things about how you pretty much stole what's the phrases?
Everybody's giving
boyfriend, and you did this, and it's like, oh my God! Like you can feel it right here.
Exposing all of this stuff. I know it's like, what happened to kayfabe? And again, it just brings my point that if John Cena wins, what does this do for the Miz?
Yeah,
the Miz needs it more.
But see, like, Miz plays off this as like, you're WWE's golden boy. You get whatever you want. Da 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 da. You know, all this stuff is just so true. And when they cut promos together, those two on the mic are gold. You know, every single Miz TV section, they just
it's like the Miz story going into this is perfect. He was already backed into a corner anyway, because Daniel Bryan literally said during the draft, despite me not wanting to draft him, we need the Intercontinental title. So the Miz had to get drafted to SmackDown. It's like he already had the story going on. He's been pushed. He's beating every obstacle that's been put in front of him through Daniel Bryan.
Also adding Daniel Bryan to the whole thing of you like he literally said, you did steal my gimmick, and I want to punch you in the face for that. Like you felt legit anger from Daniel Bryan coming out, like, there's things I want to do.
I feel like if Daniel Bryan does not become the special guest referee, it'll be a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because but at the same time,
this is the whole almost year build of Miz and Daniel Bryan feud against each other.
I really don't want that to happen, only because if that happens, then you sort of kind of know that Cena's going to win.
No, I think it's completely opposite. If Daniel Bryan can special guest referee, because again, how good would it be for Daniel Bryan to count the pinfall for the Miz? How good is that? The guy that
you know what,
it becomes full circle. The guy that Daniel Bryan despises the most, he has to count the pinfall for against one of his family members. It's like, how good is that? That's at least, again, this is how the way I would book it, at least.
So yeah, and that set up Daniel Bryan setting up Nikki Bella and John Cena versus Miz and Maurice. So Maurice is going to make her in-ring re-debut.
Finally, after how many years? The only thing I fear is that they're going to make Maurice look like a joke, like she can't wrestle, which will make that's the only thing I fear, which won't make zero sense, because they reference the fact that Maurice was.
And again, these promos are just blurring the lines of kayfabe, making SmackDown just that much better of a show.
Yeah, so I hope. So moving on, we have Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James.
Again, more of just building up towards that himself, breaking up the alliance of Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss, because
I'm glad Mickie James back, because it is helping me out the other women on the roster, because if Mickie James didn't come back, who would Alexa Bliss be feuding with right now? Because they only got injured.
Right.
Who was she actually? It was be Becky Lynch again, which again I have no problem with. I love Becky Lynch is my favorite female superstar right now anyway. So it's like I have no problem with that. But it's like
so that's what that is building up to. That's just making it, and they're going to do that again next week. They're going to take two more female talents and pit them against each other next week, just to further that point of every female for themselves.
So, and then we get to the main part of the show. Basically, it's centered the whole around the whole show about. So Shane McFine. So before that, I should say AJ Styles been waiting for Shane Man to come into
out in the garage,
the park, this whole time. When Renee Young, Renee Young was interviewing him. But so before AJ Styles could finish his sentence, you see the thing get lifted up and it shows Shane Man. Shane Man got out the car. So prior to that, AJ Styles was hiding behind the other cars, so Shane Man wouldn't see him.
Yeah, you basically see AJ creeping behind cars, squatting behind cars, trying to sneak in.
So that happened. And as soon as next thing you know, AJ Styles attacks Shane McMahon. He's pretty much just beating the hell out of him, throwing him against everything.
Tell him is this what you mean by opportunity?
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Great.
And then at the end, AJ Styles throws Shane McMahon head through a car window, which pretty much, I guess, busts his head open. At least from there, he probably cut himself prior to that. He cut himself prior to that.
Well, he didn't cut himself. This is what I kind of found funny. It's like, first off, they made it look good. Like, they had the window breakable. They put him through it. He comes out. He's holding his head. But the problem is they show his head, and his head isn't bleeding at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they cut later in the show.
And that's the only I hate it. Why they cut a camera
into a camera that was just conveniently in the car. It's like, okay, you just blew it.
Come on, it was so, I know, because again, especially right after that, Daniel Bryan fired AJ Styles. It felt like it was real.
Yeah.
But it's like the second you showed the camera, it was like
another thing that bugged me about that is after that happened, it shows AJ in the locker room with the Usos next to him, and I think it was Mojo as well.
Yeah. Usos and Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, Usos and Kurt Hawkins, who the Usos are heels.
I know.
And they're sitting there going like, dude, that's Shane McMahon.
They have the gall to say like, yo, man, you went too far, despite the fact that you're breaking people's ankles.
That they're supposed to be
on a weekly,
like
a weekly
basis.
Well, he's like, yo, man, you went too far. Like, what?
You should know when it comes to heel work, we are heels, but we don't touch the balls. That's too far.
But still,
I know it's like what, and then AJ
very
Styles,
good,
eventually, and then of course, AJ Styles
he steps out of the locker room, and Daniel Bryan is right there. Like, what were you thinking? And AJ goes, "What? What are you gonna do? Fire me?" And of course, Daniel Bryan goes, "You're damn right. Get out of here."
Yeah, exactly. Which will lead to my theory at the end, which I'm going to talk about later. Yeah. So next match again. Go ahead.
No, I was going to segue for you, but
the next match.
I'm trying to run your show. This is your...
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Your show.
Again, if I didn't have to go, because basically I have to go to like this event afterwards. If I didn't have to go, and usually I don't do anything on Saturdays, but it just literally came out the last second today. But trust me, I'll be talking probably like 4 hours if that was the point.
We're go for about 3, so.
yeah, that's my point. So it's like I'll be going longer. But next match is Dolph Ziggler Mojo Rally. Nothing really important besides the fact that
one thing I want to point out about this match really quick, since it wasn't really so important. Obviously, Mojo and Ziggler is probably going to be a thing, going in somewhere because when Mojo announced that he was going into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, of course Ziggler said, you have to earn your WrestleMania moment, and Mojo just quit back and he goes, "Oh, is that why you've never had one?" Just with the best quip ever.
I know, which is technically
Ziggler is acting like CM Punk did right before he left. That this match isn't important to me. I'm not going to waste my talent on this BS, and I'm just going to get counted out.
And it's sad because Dolph Ziggler before last year, Dolph Ziggler was my favorite superstar of all. Besides Dean Ambrose, he was my second favorite.
Again, another world champion that's getting buried in the mid card,
and it's like. I mean, his heel one currently is fine. The only issue is making him feud with fucking Apollo Crews and Kalisto, who are nobodies. That's the issue.
I don't think we've seen the last of Mojo with Ziggler.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's probably gonna happen right after Backlash. Because Backlash is next pay-per-view, so that's probably gonna be the next thing.
Probably.
So right after that is Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt segment.
Good.
It was good. Yeah, very good. This is probably the darkest I've seen Bray Wyatt.
Oh yeah,
and I like this.
I think what's going to happen here because we all know that Eric Rowan's on his way back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There have been video snippets. There's been vignettes. Like he's coming.
Because I actually do follow Eric Rowan on YouTube. Yeah, I actually do follow him on YouTube. Yeah.
So, I agree with you. This is the creepiest we've seen Wyatt so far.
Bray Wyatt
taking the burned ashes.
Because before they were just like cult leader whatever, follow brothers, whatever. But this is like literally the darkest we've seen Bray Wyatt, which is a good thing.
I kind of wish. Did they scrap the whole thing of having
Sister
actual Super Abigail come up?
Yeah, I don't think they're scrapping. I think they're just waiting for the best time to bring it out.
I think the best
and
time.
I really think what's going to happen. There were rumors flying around that
it could have been like Alexa Bliss.
Eva Marie changed to all black, everything that she was going to be it. That's a bad idea. But then, of course,
I can't. I acting. I can't even see that.
This next one, the next person who they've been teasing kind of as it, and I could see it working, is Nikki Cross.
Oh yeah, from Sanity. But the issue is she's with Sanity right now. So
yeah, people already know
if you just bring her up, and you don't have to bring all of Sanity up. You could bring just Nikki Cross up, and that would be
because Eric Young, he could do it.
Or you can just come up with something that Nikki Cross got possessed by Sister Abigail or something like that.
Yeah, no,
it works out. Yeah, because her character is like the closest thing to it. Mm-hmm. At this, the only wrestler I can think of, that was Sister Abigail. So
creepy promo. Why it got really creepy and really.
The only thing I want to bring up is, in your opinions, guys. Even though obviously, sadly, I don't think it is going to be the main event. Do you think Bray Wyatt Randy Orton should have been the main event of WrestleMania? I feel like it should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, because my only thing is, it's like, if you win the Royal Rumble, you have the right, regardless if there's other matches better, you have the right to main event WrestleMania. Yeah, because it's like, because if it's like, my whole thing is like, if your intention wasn't to make that happen, you should have just let Goldberg win the Royal Rumble, or Brock Lesnar, then the other person would beat Kevin Owens at Fastlane for that. Like, you should make that happen, because it's like, what's the point then of Randy Orton winning the Royal Rumble? He's not going to be in WrestleMania. What's the point? Because like for the past 3 years, at least they followed that tradition of whoever wins Royal Rumble. They made
I really think it should be. I think they just really got super amped off Goldberg and Lesnar.
It's like, it's not going to make it in WrestleMania. I get it's not.
It's unfortunate. It's going to be the they're going to do that co-main event bullcrap that they do, and then it's probably going to be the second to last. But you know what? It's going to be a good match. I have a feeling like Orton and Wyatt are going to steal the show.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. It's sad.
It deserves to be the main event, but sadly, it's not.
I feel like the match is going to steal the show, in my opinion, which people don't think it will be. So, it's going to be Neville and Austin Aries. That's just me.
That's gonna be a good one too.
Incredible. So, and then we get to the main event, and
this is kind of a bunk main event.
This is like the most weird. This is like the weirdest.
Yeah, I don't understand. It could have been a great match. I mean, but they're throwing the same thing. It was
so focused
American Alpha versus the Usos.
The thing, it was so overshadowed, the fact that they kept showing footage of Shane McMahon. It was like, and
it didn't help that we only had 2 announcers this week. By the way, two very unexperienced. Like JBL is not a play-by-play commentator. Nor is Tom Phillips. And there was a lot of awkward silence during the whole show.
Plus, you had to choose between the face fucker and the guy who likes muscle women.
Yeah, Tom Phillips.
I forgot about that.
Actually, when you think about it, Tom Phillips might be happy that all this heat is getting off of him, because
I know it's set of Paige. Yeah, it's like I feel like every week now leading up to WrestleMania, it's gonna be some exposed.
So if people don't know, apparently, so David Otunga's off filming a movie,
which I know that
David Otunga doesn't need to be an announcer. He could be
he doesn't need an announcer. Period. Like,
he needs to.
And then Mauro Ranallo, apparently, which I like Mauro. Mauro is one of the great.
He's good.
He's very good.
He makes Smackdown.
He apparently got caught in the Northeast in the storms and caught a lot.
It's true, because he was actually
over.
He did a boxing show.
I totally forgot too. Speaking of Tom Phillips, Jericho cut a promo on Raw.
Oh
with fake Tom Phillips.
Yeah, I totally forget them.
What happened?
And he said next week he's going to expose his guest on the
real
the real Kevin Owens.
Yeah, which probably gonna be a great thing anyway. So,
but anyways, Usos versus American Alpha. Basically, like Crater said, it got overshadowed completely by them keep cutting to Shane McMahon. So Shane McMahon is backstage, like, looking beat up, looks like his head got cut open. And he's being escorted, being told to go to the hospital. Looks like he's going to the exit, getting escorted out of the building alongside Jamie Noble and Fit Finlay. And then they get all the way to the exit, and this happened a couple times. Like, they cut from the match to Shane McMahon, and it's like, you're kind of killing us here, because what happens is you go from commentary to the match. Tom Phillips and JBL just go silent.
Yeah, because they don't know what to say. They probably know which one to focus on, either the match or.
So Shane gets to the exit. Finley and Noble walk out, and then he starts walking back. And you know, they're trying to convince him to go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, Shane McMahon looks beat up. You know, his shirt's hanging off his shoulder. You see his undershirt.
Yeah.
He's bleeding from the head. He's limping around. And, I mean, the Usos versus American Alpha was an okay-ish match. If you actually have the tape, one thing you should look back on, if you recorded it, go back to the entrance when American Alpha's in the ring and just watch Chad Gable where he throws his shirt. I will leave it at that. Like, if you can go watch it, just go watch where Chad Gable's shirt lands.
I will definitely relook at that.
Just watch, and you have to watch the bottom of the screen, but watch where Chad Gable throws his shirt. It's perfect. Good match. Usos go over, give them a little bit more momentum going into Mania.
I know, but again, it really just focused on the very end, as that Shane McMahon decided to come out. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna quote this in the best way possible, because the reason why I'm quoting it this way. He came out, and the last thing, right before it cuts off, he said, AJ Styles won a match at WrestleMania. Well, he has one now.
Yes.
End segment. Now, everybody believes it's going to be Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles. But the way Shane McMahon worded that is not happening.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a key for Shinsuke.
Here's what I believe. And I believe that it's going to be that. So, And they're working the storyline really great, because they move AJ Styles on their website from SmackDown.
Yeah, I know the alumni. I noticed that. Yeah, it was perfect. It's perfect.
And AJ's talking about his Mania match. Shinsuke has been talking about how he wants a Mania match. We all know they did great things at Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan.
I know.
I think what's going to happen in these next couple weeks is Shane is going to say, "Yeah, AJ, you have a WrestleMania match," and then AJ's going to think, "Yeah, cool, it's me." And then we're going to get to WrestleMania. And Shane's going to come out. He's probably going to be in his suit and his Nikes and be like, "Oh, you thought you were facing me? No, I got somebody to fight for me." Boom.
If that happens, I'm a pretty big guy, but I will scream like a little girl.
I think that's
the only reason why I think that's happening, because if you actually notice on the WWE website, every NXT live event after San Antonio does not feature Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah. He's not advertising. None of
have come out.
Especially
that's true.
Tour. But he does not feature Shinsuke now. Yeah, he's missing at all.
The question that I want to know, if they're going to do this, okay, then this match that he's going to have, because I know we get in NXT, or I don't know if we have time to, but
no, we will. It's only an hour. We're going to quickly breeze through it.
Okay, so being to the fact of whoever won the Ono versus Rude match was going to face Shinsuke Nakamura at NXT. So the question is,
full double duty.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be the first time. Sami Zayn did it. He did
do it. So I'm hoping that he will be able to do something like that, because I want that to happen. Like I said, I'm a big guy. I will scream like a little girl.
I think it's going to happen.
It makes sense.
Not everyone's really sold on Shane versus AJ, but
I think that we knew that, so like, you know what, this is going to be our back out plan.
Yep. And you put Shinsuke versus AJ at WrestleMania, that's going to be a huge pop.
It is. Nobody won't be expecting it. And it's like, it makes sense. It just makes sense because, again, I find it strange how you're not going to advertise your biggest NXT star for any NXT live events.
And then what's going to happen? So they moved AJ to the alumni section. So post WrestleMania, they're saying trades and call-ups are going to happen.
Yep.
What I've heard so far, obviously AJ is going to be headed to Raw. He's not coming back to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So there's obviously going to be a trade somewhere. He's going to be headed to Raw. I've heard either Roman Reigns or they're going to pull Cesaro. New Day.
Oh yeah,
I heard New Day was going to get pulled from Raw and sent to SmackDown.
Well, I heard Cesaro
or AJ Styles or Cesaro.
Apparently, it's weird. I heard Cesaro and Kevin Owens, and I heard Kevin Owens too at one point.
Post WrestleMania, AJ will be on Raw.
Because it'll be stupid of them. They realize how much of a star he is. It'll be stupid not to put him in the flagship show. Can imagine all the feuds he can have. Seth Rollins Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho reunite, the thing with that.
Finn Balor, I like that fact. Is all these guys, all these main carders on Raw and SmackDown, they're all indie stars. You know, that had this huge.
It's so much. I know it's crazy how much time has changed in WWE. You had never thought none of these stars. So let's just quickly move on to 205 Live. We could breeze through this real quick. Neville cut out a promo basically promoting the Fatal 5-Way match. Yeah. Between Kira Tozawa, Brian Kendrick, T.J. Perkins, Tony Nese, and Austin Aries. Saying it doesn't matter at the end of the day at WrestleMania. He's gonna be his moment because what I brought up earlier in the show, Neville was originally supposed to be in an Intercontinental title match, and 2 weeks right before that, this was actually the anniversary. He got injured, so he's actually gonna have a WrestleMania. He said he's gonna have a WrestleMania moment at WrestleMania when he defends the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, and all the Cruiserweights are going to face off in a ladder match on the pre-show too. So
yeah, I know. It's just again, it's.
I know it's not that. I once give the Aries match and the match.
Neville match. It better not be on the kickoff. If it's on the kickoff show, I'll be so pissed.
Let it be an early match. It should be the first match.
It should open the show. It should open the show. It's gonna be a good match.
Let them have their moment.
Yeah,
it should. So right after we have Mustafa Ali versus Drew Gulak. Now, prior to this match, Drew Gulak. Let me tell you something about Drew Gulak. He actually is from Philadelphia, which is funny because that's why I do know him.
I actually met him before.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But prior to this match, in the back of my head, I was like, why is the very first episode 205 Live, I was like, why is Drew Gulak not referencing? Because if you remember the very first episode, he referenced the fact that he was like, women should not be allowed here in 205 Live or whatever when Noam Dar did doing that whole thing. So once he lost against Mustafa Ali, he actually cut a promo saying, you know what? The issue here is me. It's with 205 Live. And it's like time for a change, basically. So I'm glad they're finally even though it's not the exact correlation between the two, I'm glad they're referencing the fact that Drew Gulak had been having problems with how 205 been working ever since it showed up. So I'm glad they're actually, so at least this is a new story. I'm saying I'm glad there's a new storyline kind of 205 Live. The only storylines we had was the whole Alicia Fox and Noam Dar, and the main event scene with Neville. Besides that, we had Avari Davari versus Jack Gallagher. That's already done. So I'm glad there's a new story coming out of this. Basically, I forgot Brian Kendrick and Kira Tozawa, but at least there's some type of new story coming out of this. And speaking of that, we had Noam Dar and Avari Davari versus Jack Gallagher with Swan. I'm glad Noam Dar won the match because for the past weeks, it was just been always Rich Swann just getting upper hand against Noam Dar because it didn't make any sense to me why Noam Dar just kept losing. And it's the story that you're trying to tell here is that the side story, which 205 Live stories is just I don't know what they're doing.
I kind of feel like 205 Live shouldn't have stories. It should just be wrestling.
No, but the issue, and here's the issue with that. If this was in Full Sail, they could get away with that. If this was in Full Sail. Since this isn't a casual audience, since this is a main roster audience, they can't do that, and that's the issue. Yeah, they have to form some type of fucking story. It shows with Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. They have some type of story to pull the crowd, and it's if this was in full, that's why I wish 205 was in full still. They don't have to deal with this bullshit with these storylines.
Although the best, I feel like the best thing of storyline wise for 205 Live was the whole Cedric Alexander, which I didn't know he was injured. Apparently he's injured.
Yeah, he is injured.
But the whole Cedric Alexander and
that was good.
Noam Dar.
The start of it, but now since Cedric Alexander is injured, it's they don't know where to go with this. So,
although I'm still laughing of.
Noam Dar said that's the best thing. Him saying the way he says Lee Fox is the best thing ever. Yeah, I know. So I'm just glad that Noam Dar actually got the win here. And again, it's just at the end they what was the bear this time? He pretended like he the one who got the gift, even though that's not the case. I'm pretty sure it's gonna end up being Rich Swann. So we'll get into that. Again, just I'm just saying that the way I'm just talking about is because 205 Live is their storylines is I don't know.
It's just it's mediocre writing.
Exactly. It I feel like it's just throwaway, and it's like again, the only thing I'm actually interested in is the whole Drew Gulak thing. I'm actually interested in that. I want to see how this goes. So then we get our main event, which again, probably the best match of the night, obviously. Austin Aries versus Brian Kendrick, Tony Nese, Kyrgios out, and TJ Perkins.
Yeah.
Now there was a bunch of storyline elements here, basically. All Kyrgios out really cared about in the game was just taking out Brian Kendrick, which is a good thing. And the one thing I hate when with matches like tag team matches and stuff like that, they never reference the storylines that actually are taking place at the time. They just completely throw it out of the way. It's really storyline folk. It is like some mini feud between Tony Nese and TJ Perkins. So they was doing that. I forgot the order who got eliminated. Who got eliminated first? Tony Nese? It was either Tony Nese or Akira got eliminated first.
I think it was Tozawa who got.
I think he got eliminated. Yeah, and then Tony Nese got eliminated by was it TJ Perkins or Austin? No, Austin Aries eliminated him. I think, and then we got the so they had they re-brought back the storyline between Brian Kendrick and TJ Perkins, so they went at it for a few minutes. Well, prior to that, Tony Nese took out Austin Aries with that running knee through the barricade, which looked. Even though I know it actually didn't connect to the head, it actually looked deadly with his knee when he went through the barricades. It actually made Austin Aries not be able to go into the match for a couple minutes. So there was that. So we had Brian Kendrick versus TJ Perkins pretty much the whole time. TJ Perkins got pinned by Brian Kendrick, or was it? Did he get pinned by Brian Kendrick or Austin Aries? It was Brian Kendrick because he got pissed.
Yeah.
So he was distracting Brian Kendrick, and eventually Austin Aries. At first, I really thought. You see, I love how they did the ending. I personally thought they was going to pull a swerve on us and actually make Brian Kendrick win. I was like, holy shit! They actually didn't make Brian, because despite Brian Kendrick getting distracted by TJ Perkins, he still actually had the upper hand on Austin Aries. I was like, holy shit! They're actually going to make Austin Aries. I mean, they're actually going to make Austin Aries lose this match. But it ended up happening. Austin Aries was able to do the running elbow, or like the rope elbow thing, and he got the win.
The rolling elbow, yeah.
Yeah. So now we officially know it's going to be Austin Aries versus Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. And I think this is going to be the match that make the casual fans care about the Cruiserweight division.
I feel like
this is going to be the match that does it. After all this time, I feel like the Cruiserweights are finally going to get their spotlight. And I'm glad it's going to be these two showing it all. Because we're going to show what the Cruiserweight division is all about. So let's just quickly go through NXT, and I think we have to call it a day after this. So we're quickly go through NXT. So to start off, now it's funny. I just want to bring this up. It's weird how they do NXT, because those who not know, NXT tape like a month, almost like a month in advance.
Yeah, they tape a month in advance, so there are people that spoil it way before.
Yeah, but what I find interesting, the way they do it, it's like they sometimes reverse the order of how this stuff happens. Because some of these segments I heard was on like a different, like they taped it for 1 week, but they pulled some of these segments, put them into the next week. Because the Byru versus Kaz Odo that wasn't that was the last match taped, but yet they had it on this show, which makes sense because they had to build something out with Byru. I always found it interesting how they do NXT.
Right.
But anyway, we got the Early Brothers. I can never pronounce their names. The Early Brothers versus Authors of Pain. It was weird because I didn't. Besides that one-off with Samoa Joe, I'm surprised they even still existed. The Early Brothers. So,
but they work. At least it's showing they're working with them.
Yeah. Well, they have to, because again, the NXT got purged with the draft. They took all their stars, so it's like they have to build. This is pretty much a building period. So it's like, which I just want. I guess I'll just point this out. People, the whole debate of Asuka should go to the main roster. I personally feel like she should, because let's just think about it for a second.
She should, but you still need to build.
Should, but it's like, I know, because people kept saying if Asuka goes to the main roster, the whole women's division is dead. I wouldn't necessarily say that. Asuka is the reason why the women's division in NXT isn't going anywhere, because it's like so much so it proved my story when it proved my point in saying it. Toronto when they had Mickie James fight her. It showed that no female member of the roster developed at that point to face Asuka. So
it looks like they're building towards Ember Moon.
I think that Ember Moon is going to is going to be
Asuka. It's obvious. The second Ramon showed up at Brooklyn, I already knew that was the route they would go.
Not to also mention that and lately Asuka has been doing SmackDown live shows.
Well, Madison Square Garden.
Not just Madison Square Garden. She's been doing SmackDown live shows as of late.
It's more of a coincidence. Yeah, I would say it's more of a coincidence than anything. It's not the fact that she's going there. It's just the fact that Naomi's injured.
So the only women's match we got was Macy Estrella versus Nikki Cross.
And that was just brutal.
Yeah, this was just showing Nikki Cross can fucking.
But that was just fucking brutal. Yeah, and then also further did the whole feud between Todd Dillinger and Eric Young when they came out to rectify Roderick Strong getting attacked.
Yeah. So
obviously the number game. Now again, I know what's about to happen. I'm not going to spoil that. I already know what's going to happen next week. Since they announced the 6-man tag, I already know what's about to happen. So I'm not even going to spoil that because the 6-man tag between Sanity versus Roderick Strong, Ty Dillinger, and No Way Jose. I'm not going to spoil what happens in that match, but basically that's the match going to happen next week. But actually, I forgot that Asuka. Did anybody see that Asuka promo that they did? The video package. It was amazing. I love that.
Video package. I saw a little.
I'm keep replaying to this day. Every day I've been replaying that video package. It's so good. Okay, it just shows how dominant Asuka's been throughout this whole year. And I love the line when she said, "There is no women's revolution. It's only Asuka." And I love that. I love that.
I feel like that might be the thing to start to build up for. I feel like that if she does come up, she might be SmackDown, if anything, because she knows the SmackDown roster already. She's wrestled most of them already.
But it's like the issue with Asuka. I always say this: the issue with Asuka, unlike Nia Jax has been shown to be beatable in NXT because of Bayley and Asuka. But when you bring Asuka to the main roster, it's like you're going to have this situation where it's like, who is going to beat her and who's going to make it believable that they can beat her?
True. And that's but also, I mean, so I feel like, I'm sorry, I just saw something on Twitter. I feel like that I feel like she's going to be humanized, if you might say, when she gets up to the main roster, to the point of she's going to lose a couple of matches. But and there's something that she's going to have to learn how to do. Because I mean, the one thing about Asuka, she has been beaten before. If you watch any of her Japanese stuff, she's been beaten.
Oh, I know, but I know. Okay, so in terms of like, I know. And in terms of like WWE's universe.
Yeah,
I mean, she's going to be untouchable when she comes up to the main roster. But I feel like, being to the fact of her knowledge and her longevity in wrestling compared to someone like Alexa Bliss or whatever, she's going to win the title, yes. But I feel like that she's going to be humanized. It's like, hey, listen, let's give other people here a chance. Like, these people actually are.
Oh, they're gonna have no choice. They're gonna have no choice.
Yeah, you can't put the belt on.
Because basically, what's gonna happen is Asuka's gonna hold the women's title forever. Then the SmackDown women's title.
Yeah, and that's
they're gonna have no choice, and it's gonna be an interesting sight to see, basically.
Yeah, because I feel like if you put her on Raw, I feel like that.
They're not going to put her on. They're not going to put her on Raw solely because they don't want Charlotte to get buried by her. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that to Charlotte.
Nah.
Yeah, like they're not. They're not going to do that to Sasha either. Bayley already got fed to Asuka. Like, they're not going to do that again. So it's like they're going to put her on SmackDown to show how dominant she is. They're not going to blow off the momentum that Charlotte has right now.
Right.
It'll be stupid of them to do that. So it's like.
Now,
it's SmackDown thing would make much sense.
Yeah. So, but they're going to humanize her. And another thing, like I told you last week, I think you saying last week, they just signed another Japanese wrestler.
Yeah, they signed more Japanese wrestlers. So we're going to see. The women's division is going to be interesting after.
There's going to be so Asuka 2 is going to be coming on NXT soon.
Asuka 2, yeah.
Asuka the Revenge.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out before we get to the main event. they officially announced because the promo between Authors of Pain, DIY, and the Revival at NXT TakeOver is going to be a triple threat tag team match between the Authors of Pain, Revival, and DIY. There's going to be two things that are going to come out of this. This is going to be the Revival's last match on NXT, and it's going to officially mark the breakup between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. I'm calling it right now.
I don't know. I think that they're going. I think that they're going to win because I feel like they're going to win, and only because if it's triple threat rules, that means that the Authors of Pain don't have to be pinned. So
I don't think they're going to have. So they're not going to have AOP drop the titles that quickly, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen because they made DIY lose it so quickly.
I'm going to say they made DIY lose it so quickly, so I can't believe that. I can believe that they might. The reason
why they made them lose it so quickly because they wanted. Because let's think about it from their perspective. They made Authors of Pain win the Dusty Road Tag Team Classic. If they were to lose to DIY, how credible would they have been after that?
Yeah.
So they had no choice. So it's like after this, I can potentially see Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano breaking up. Because
also, as good as AOP is, I still think they might need a tad bit more work.
Oh, they definitely do.
As far as being green,
they gotten better, but so they definitely more work.
But they need more work on being green because. Listen, we know you're big and you're strong and everything like that, but you're gonna kill somebody soon.
Yeah,
you're right because they did injure that other guy before.
The local talent.
And they injured somebody else in another house show. I overread.
Yeah,
and everything. So they gotta be careful. Like, listen, we know that you're big. We know that you can move around. You do all this stuff like that, but. These are not rad dolls. These are real people. You're going to have
to be careful with some of the moves that they pull, like the whole like
powerbomb thing. Yeah, they got it.
Yeah, the powerbomb thing is very, very dangerous. Landing one human on top of another at full speed, just powerbomb front to back is bad.
They had to switch that up. But again, the only reason why I think Johnny Gargano's house is going to be split up because again, Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be going. They're going to need some more faces besides Ty Dillinger. Because basically the Hills team, you're gonna have Bobby Roode, we're gonna have Eric Young, we're gonna have Andrade, which they've been building.
You're also gonna have what's his name premiering soon. They premiered a vignette for
Aleister Black. I think they're gonna make him heel first. I don't think they're gonna make him face.
They're gonna need it. He's gonna come in as a heel.
Yeah. So that's why I said like they're gonna need more faces. So I feel like Tommaso Ciampa's gonna be the heel. So that's why they're gonna need more faces.
I have this thing in my head that I feel like that Ty Dillinger, wherever he's going to go.
Oh no, Ty Dillinger's going to become the new face of NXT. That's just going to happen. I already see it happening. Well, it would be stupid of them not to do that.
Yeah, because I want him to.
Because think about it, who's going to replace Shinsuke Nakamura as the top face right now? That's my point.
Well, I mean, okay.
I know Rue's basically pretty much like the face right now. But I'm talking about in terms like a good guy is gonna have.
As a good guy,
they're gonna try to push Ono as that, but
I would say Ono. I would say Ono. I would probably say if he gets because he's kind of injured. Well, he's not injured, but he has he's bruised a little bit, so he's healing. I think that's the reason why he didn't wrestle in NXT because he's actually pretty bruised. But I feel like that Roger Strong. He could be.
Oh no, yeah, I can see Roderick Strong.
Because Roddy versus the World. I like that whole thing of Roddy versus the World, and I feel like when he gets that chance, when he gets that big chance, he's going to prove. Because Roger Strong is one of the best.
This is like NXT is like they're still in like their rebuilding phase. And now they just lost Samoa Joe too, so I feel like we're gonna see a lot of new changes after Orlando. There's just pretty much Orlando's gonna be like the culmination of Shinsuke Nakamura, the Revival, and who else is probably leaving after this? After TakeOver.
Samson.
Yeah, Elias Samson. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna spoil. Yeah, you guys gonna spoil what's gonna happen next week. But yeah, it's gonna be a combination of people. Once they leave, we're gonna have again. It's gonna look the NXT scene. It's gonna be an interesting scene. The NXT scene after Orlando.
Absolutely.
So
you had Ono versus Rude for the title.
Mm-hmm. It was a good match. I actually liked the match. You know, I already knew the outcome of it.
It was good. I swear to God, every time I see Chris Hero, I call him Chris Hero because I still can't get behind Cassius Ono.
He has more reputation with Chris Hero.
I swear he gets bigger every time I see him.
Yeah, it is. No, he is Chris Hero at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, he gets bigger every time I see him. I'm just waiting for an NXT match where the top rope breaks on him.
Leave it alone.
Again, I'm glad they brought him back. I still don't agree with the Cassius Ono thing, but man, he is a good wrestler.
Well, to be fair, because despite WWE, one thing WWE hates, they hate that somebody goes over it wasn't their own creation. He got over as Chris Hero, so he said, "Screw that." They're gonna bring him as they want him over as Cassius Ono, which I understand.
It's not his fault, but
it's like they rather have him get. They rather the same thing with Luke Gallows.
Mm-hmm.
They brought him back instead of Doc Gallows. Yeah, it's Luke Gallows. They said screw it. Might as well put him as Luke Gallows. That was their creation. It's funny because the second they debuted, Michael accidentally did call him Doc Gallows. I always remember that when they showed up. He actually called him Doc Gallows. Everything out there was Luke Gallows. They called him.
And always they were like, "Oh my God, it's Festus."
Actually,
that was hilarious.
Did you read the story? As he was on Talking Jericho, I think he said it on where he was like, with Vince McMahon, he was talking to Vince McMahon, and he told Vince McMahon, "Yeah, I was here before."
No, Vince McMahon didn't know Festus was fucking Gallows.
Like, wait, you were Festus?
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I know it's hilarious.
Anyway, so
but at the
Ono
end,
versus Rude.
Yeah.
Best that match.
It was a good.
That match.
It was good.
I feel like that match could be up for match of the year if they were still doing the Slammies or anything like that, or it might be one of those matches where it will catch Dave Meltzer's eye because that match was legit good.
Well, it showed. I mean, it showed for people who doubted Chris Hero. It showed that he can, despite his size now, he can still put on a great match, just despite his size. Because he's been doing. I mean, he was that big during the Indies anyway, but for WWE universe at least, it shows that he can actually put on a decent match against, especially someone like Bobby Roode.
It cuts to Shinsuke a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times kept showing him. Yeah.
Obviously, because the winner of that goes on to face Shinsuke at
Nakamura versus
Orlando.
Is it me? Maybe it's just me. I have an issue with them keep doing the whole injury storyline with Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the second time they're doing it. It's weird to me. I find it weird. Because they did it with Samoa Joe. They kept they keep keeping him off of TV for so many weeks.
Yeah.
I feel it is just strange to me. It's like, in my opinion, I feel like
it's good. They kind of play it as like the triumphant return, but
he did it twice. But they did it back to back.
I mean, he was injured before with the whole
Samoa Joe storyline with Samoa Joe. They did it. It's weird. I felt like it's just to me it tells me they don't know how to write Shinsuke Nakamura when it comes to
and that's
doing a week. It is because he's pretty much the Oscar of the male division in terms of you can't really. I mean, despite him losing, I was like, you can't really. Besides those top main event people, who is he actually going to credibly lose to?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. So it's I feel like I think that's the reason. I think that's the main reason why they keep him off TKO. But they really don't know what to do with him besides those main event.
Yeah, you don't want to try him out too much just to be either make him look too powerful or to have him lose to somebody and make him look weak. You don't want to trot him out there every week.
No, that's perfect. To me, I think that's the one thing I do like about NXT being an hour. It doesn't overexpose the superstars. Right. That's the one thing I love about that. It makes you wait. Say, for example, Ty Dillinger didn't show up. You have to wait till next week to see him, which I do. I love that.
Oh, my God.
I love how they that's. I love how it's a good thing for them to be out. It doesn't overexpose all the NXT superstars. I do like that.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing, and this is wrestling oriented, but you know that we actually forgot. I don't know if you follow Up, Down, Down, but tonight was Xavier Woods was actually supposed to be hosting the South by Southwest Gaming Awards tonight.
and he's not.
And he's on Twitch. No, he's on right now. Like I have the Power Rangers. I've been watching Power Rangers the marathon because Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But if I'm afraid to go to the South by Southwest Twitch thing for when Xavier Woods comes up.
Oh, it's gonna be fucking toxic in that chat.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I fear for them. No, I fear for them at WrestleMania. I don't know how the outcome. Hopefully, it's dead by then. 2 weeks should be enough.
2 weeks would be enough. Because I mean, look, I joke around about Tom Phillips being the face fucker. But people
that's been dead. That's already been dead.
People already forgot about that.
So like,
already forgot. So
hopefully, it's just I feel the only person I just kind of feel sorry for is Paige when she shows up. That's the only thing that they're gonna say.
Or maybe, hopefully, maybe another scandal will happen, and then we'll knock that scandal out of the way.
Yeah.
Who's gonna take one for the team?
I don't know. But
Bobby Roode ended up winning.
So
we're obviously gonna get Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke again.
It's gonna be a good match, but it's like again. It's gonna be one of those outcomes like we already know kind of the outcome, especially since Shinsuke Nakamura is not advertised for no NXT event out.
No, and I think we're all holding our breath, hoping that he pulls double duty and fights in Shane McMahon's place at WrestleMania.
Hopefully,
so we can have a repeat of Wrestle Kingdom,
which was amazing.
At WrestleMania.
I would not care if it's literally like bell to bell the exact match. I would not care.
Yeah, if they would need something on that caliber because. Let's be serious for a second. If 32 was bad, okay, and not just because of the Triple H.
I wouldn't say 32 was bad. It was disappointing. It was very underwhelming. It was very
underwhelming.
Other WrestleManias,
but there's a lot of people who are not really feeling 33 like that, and I feel like that if they're going to do this. This is going to be the thing like if they're going to switch Shane with Sasuke, this is going to be one of those things where this might bring WrestleMania up to a point of this is what you're missing.
It's going to be actually interested. Yeah. The only issue I feel like this WrestleMania is going to be way better than 32. This is just me being biased. The only thing I'm going to hate is again Roman Reigns versus Undertaker because this is just bullshit. This is just bullshit.
Here's a question: if they're going to do that, right? Here's my question: would they announce that before? I mean, I know you joked around and said something earlier, but would they joke around and would they say something like that before to get more buy rates, or would they wait until? And would they? Let's say like this: will Shane come out and say, "Yeah, you're got a match at WrestleMania"? He's going to be somebody in my surprise.
No, what they're going to do, they're doing it just like how Seth Rollins and Triple H. They're not saying it's a match. The only difference is we know AJ Styles is going to have a match. Shane McMahon's not going to specifically say. Well, we'll find out this. We'll find out on SmackDown.
We'll find out on Tuesday. There's one or two ways they can go about it. Because they can build up the hype, and then he reveals it at WrestleMania. Or
they're just going to say blatantly.
He reveals it, and he says, I'm in no condition to fight. I will find somebody to fight you in my
way. Just like
I feel like they should probably do it like that because for the buy rates for people to go, I wonder who's going to be.
Well, so to be fair, again, marketing wise, they already have WrestleMania sold with Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Like they already got that under. Like they already for the casual audience, they already had that intact. They just really need, the hardcore audience is going to watch regardless. They just need a casual audience. So because again, a casual audience, they don't have no idea who the fuck Shinsuke Nakamura is. So it won't even matter to them. So that won't even matter. So it's like for casual, they already have it locked in with Roman Reigns and Undertaker and Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. They already have that locked in. So it's not even about the virus anymore. They just want to make WrestleMania this time just an overall good show now. So it's like, and it's a surprise factor because the only surprise from WrestleMania 32 is John Cena showed up. Was not expecting that. I was not personally expecting that, even though the segment itself was like whatever. But
it's the fact that because he actually said it like
he wasn't going to show up anyway. I know.
He was like he was actually ready to wrestle, but it was like they legit have nothing for you or nothing for him.
Like Finn Balor's not yet. Finn Balor's not going to be at WrestleMania either. There's no point of Finn Balor showing up if they have not built up anything to it. It makes no sense.
What are you going to do in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, Yeah, despite this surprise factor, but again, sadly, I don't want to cut this short, but I sadly have to.
We gotta.
Yeah,
we gotta cut it short. I have to go somewhere. So
I actually gotta get ready.
No, yeah, it's not. Yeah, trust me. I would love to talk like a little bit more. I really have to go at this point.
I gotta get ready.
I just want to thank you, Numbskull, and thank you, Ron, for being part of this. I actually enjoyed this podcast. It was better than me talking for 2 hours straight by myself last time, so I did enjoy this.
2 minutes and 30.
So yeah, so I mean, again, if you guys want to do it again next week, so again next week, I know I'm not doing anything next Saturday. I don't have to push quickly speed up everything next week. So
hey, I'll let you know if I'm not doing anything next week.
Yeah, no problem.
The only thing I'm doing next week is the Power Ranger movie.
Okay.
And like how many times I might see that, depending.
No problem. So thank you guys for watching. You can follow Numbskull's YouTube channel is going to be in my description below anyway. But if you want to plug it in real quick, Numbskull, go ahead.
There's my Twitch actually, which is just Numbskull Gaming. If you want to follow
so I'll put your Twitch and his YouTube channel in my description below, so you can look for that. Ryan, you want to plug your Twitter?
Well, yeah. So my Twitter is VGCJ _ the Mad Stalin. VGCJ is the Video Game Concert Junkies. We have been away for a while because we had, let's just say, life hit us and everything. Mm-hmm. A lot of people had to do a lot of things, but we are planning to come back. We're going to have a Twitch channel and we're going to have a Facebook channel soon where we can actually do streaming at different times and whatnot. That's all I can say right now. But for right now, you can either follow me on VGCJ _ Mad Stalin, or if you're on Facebook, look up VG Concert Junkies. I do most of the posting on there, and we just go from there.
All right. So again, guys, thank you for watching. As always, it's Critter signing off. Catch you guys later.